say just a couple of games today, waiting for it to say that we're good, and guess what? We're Gucci, baby. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKR Sport, we are live as the Newcastle Knights and Novocastrians take on the Latte Sippers, the Sydney Roosters. Here we go, big game here between two teams here in the Knights and the Roosters. Where look, the Knights got to win last week. Now it was against a team that did happen to lose yesterday. It did happen to lose yesterday to the mighty Gold Coast Titans, but the Knights got to win last week, so that's a positive sign for them. It's been a really struggle year for them, absolutely. Whilst the Roosters, they've got 5 players out here, so it does bring this game really back into play. And it's not like the Roosters have had a fantastic season themselves. Yes, they sit up there in 11th position right now, and with a chance to jump into the top 8 here today, chance to go equal 6th actually, even though the points differential is pretty poor. But the point of the matter is they've been basically down there in the bottom 4, bottom 2, and they were last at one stage. So they're having a really difficult season. If they lose this game, they can definitely drop down back into that area. So it is a big game here for both teams where, look, they both need to kind of separate themselves away from the spoon, and if there's still a chance of either of these two teams to make the 8 if they're good enough going into the back end, and we all know that Newcastle loves a good back-end stretch, which, isn't necessarily a great formula to being a team that can win the premiership, but it is a great formula in them able to kind of compete and push into the top 8. But does that mean that'll happen this year? Not too sure, but it has happened on multiple occasions. But let's get into these two team lives here today, guys. Obviously, hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget, we do have another game later on today, so there is only 2 games. Usually there's 3 games on Saturdays, but there's only 2 games this week because Origin is on Wednesday, which is why the Roosters have got so many players out. And the next game is the Cowboys versus the Dolphins up there in North Queensland, which obviously we will be live streaming because you know me, we're always here. We are here for every single game. But all right, let's get into these 2 team lineups. The Knights come into this game from 15th position, whilst the Roosters come in from 10th position, and this is at McDonald's Jones Stadium in Newcastle. The ins here for the Knights, Brock Greason, I'm assuming that's a debutant there, Kyle McCarthy and Mason Teague, with the outs being Fletcher Sharp, Kalen Ponga and Tyson Frizzell. So Ponga obviously out with Origin, Frizzell and Sharp not so much, but that's some big outs there for Newcastle. So this is a tough game here for them as well. I know they don't have as many players out, but you'd argue when you've got the weaker teams, the teams right down the bottom of the table, when they're losing players, and don't worry, the Titans didn't have to worry about this yesterday, even though they had players out. But the point is that when you're a lower table team and you're missing out on 3 players compared to the Roosters, who are expected to be a lot better than what they've been, well, kind of. I did have them for, I think, 4th last pre-season. But the point of the matter is that this Roosters team is given high expectations pretty much every single game. And you compare it with the Panthers, and you compare it with, in previous years, sorry, not this year, but compare it with the Panthers in previous years. But to be fair, they're right there. Compare it with the Melbourne Storm and these teams up the top of the table. Yeah, they lose players, but their structure and their system is all really developed and really well placed to push them into the high place that they are, that they can actually cope with the injuries, and they can actually cope with players being out due to Origin, right? Whilst teams down here, like the Knights, who are losing Fletcher Sharp, Kalen Ponga and Tyson Frizzell, 3 massive players in their team, you could argue that actually has more impact towards their team than it does towards the Roosters there. But that is a whole conversation that we can have. The fullback is Fletcher Hunt, who is coming off he was originally as the centre. Damn, there's a few changes here. He was originally the centre, Fletcher Hunt, who had a great game last week. He's fullback today, with the wingers being James Schiller and Greg Martiu. In the centres, Kyle McCarthy comes in to start alongside Dane Gagai, who is the captain. McCarthy was originally the 18th man. The 5'8" is Jackson Hastings, who is back and ready to rock and roll here. Jackson Hastings, Best Sport 2.0's biggest fan. And then Jack Cogger is the halfback. You go to the front row forwards of Matt Croker and Brody Jones, with the number 9 being Jaden Brayley. Back row is Dylan Lucas and Kai Pearce-Paul, with the 13 being Phoenix Crossland. He moves from the hooker out to that 13. So that is, very big difference to what he would normally be playing. He'd usually be in the hooker role, but Crossland on the 13. Let's see if he gets going today. Seb Watson, I know, will make a comment about his hair very soon at some point of this stream. The interchange, Thomas Cant, Jermaine McEwen, Elijah Salesa, Leo Moana, and Brock Greason, with the 18th man replacement being Mason Teague and Adam O'Brien's the coach. We'll always say it, don't believe in Adam O'Brien's the coach, but the biggest issues with this Knights team continuously is going to be the halves. Again, the halves are changed again. And it's not that it's not because they want to change the halves. They've had to change the halves, but even when they haven't had to change the halves, they do change the halves. So it's like, yes, this situation here is because they've had to, but so many weeks and so many years now, it's just been chopping and changing, chopping and changing, chopping and changing. So it's much of a muchness really at this point, and they do obviously have to bring in Jackson Hastings there to play 5'8", when normally you'd be playing the halfback, but Cogger's there. Anyway, this year is a bit of a throwaway. So it is a massive throwaway there for Newcastle. So I guess you can throw it in and do with what you can. The forwards a bit all over the shop. I do love Kai Pearce-Paul and Dylan Lucas, but I'm pretty certain Kai Pearce-Paul is now signed with the Tigers for next year. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Dylan Lucas is a fantastic player, though. Major worries, though. Major worries about Newcastle. There's a reason why they are down there in third last right now. Technically, mathematically speaking, they could end up in last position after this game. It's not going to happen unless they lost by 60, which we'll get into in a second. But technically, mathematically speaking, they could be in last after this game if the Roosters really came to play and did what they did against the Sharks a couple of weeks ago, despite the fact they had 5 players out before Origin Game 1. So yeah, look, I don't need to rattle it home too much. We'll talk about it plenty today. The Knights team is an absolute, it's an absolute scrabble right now. It's all over the shop. Does that mean they can't win? No, because we know the NRL this year. We've seen a big upset yesterday with the Titans of Manly. We saw Dragons they didn't win, but they put on a show in the first half at the very least. We've seen plenty of upsets this season, so I wouldn't put it past Newcastle to win here at home. They did beat Manly at home last week despite being down 16-0 at half-time. However, they did have their players in Callum Ponga, Fletcher Sharp and Tyson Frizzell. So, look, very nerve-wracking here for Newcastle in today's game. I feel like even Knights fans will be able to admit that and agree with that. The ins here for the Roosters, Dom Young, Makahesi Makatoa, Nafahu White, Talala Salu and Zach Docker-Clay, with the outs being Angus Crichton, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, Robert Toya and Spencer Leniu. So obviously 5 players out there with Origin. That is... That's a lot to deal with, man. That is a lot to deal with. So good luck with that one. The fullback is James Tedesco, who's the captain, with the wingers being Daniel Tupou and Dom Young, obviously the ex-Knight, who I believe is going back to the Knights as well. Centers are Billy Smith and Mark Nwanganetawase. The 5'8" is Sandon Smith, who was originally the 14. He's been pushed into the 6 with Hugo Savala, who was originally the 6. He's been pushed back into the 7 there. Nafahu White and Celeste Faketi are the 2 props, with Benai Iwelu as the number 9. The back row is Egan Butcher and Siwa Wong, with the 13 being Victor Radley. Interchange, Zach Docker-Clay, Blake Steep, Makahesi Makatoa and Tala Lasalu, with Ethan King as the 18th man replacement and Trent Robinson is the coach. This Roosters team should have enough to win this game today. They really should. If they really are considering a genuine push into this top 8, which again, they'll be in the top 8 if they win, but if they are genuinely considering this real solid push into the top 8 from where they were, similar to what the Panthers have been so far this season, and this is a game they should be winning with the talent they've got. James Tedesco, ex-New South Wales and ex-Australian. Daniel Tupou, has he played Australia? No, he plays for Tonga. But has he played Australia before? I don't think so. But he's definitely played for Tonga there and also has played for New South Wales. You've got Mark Nwanganetawase, who I'm sure will probably play for Fiji at the end of this year. Dom Young obviously plays for England. The halves, obviously, they're fresh, but Hugo Savala's been doing his job. He's been doing his job. Same with Sandon Smith there. The forwards are a little bit all over the shop, though. They do lose a lot of... Victor Radley plays for England, and Siwa Wong is a massive up-and-comer. Look, this Roosters team should absolutely have enough to win this game, regardless of the fact that they've got 5 outs, especially against a Knights team that is quite literally just all over the shop. And yeah, sure, they did get a good comeback win against Manly last week. Manly are very vulnerable right now. We'll talk about them plenty today. Manly are extremely vulnerable when it comes to coach, when it comes to positions on the team, whether it comes to ownership, whether it comes to management. There's so much going on there, Brookvale, right now. So I don't really read too heavily into that game. However, it's still a good time to get 2 points there for Newcastle, right? So I am going to take the Roosters here, and I am going to surprisingly... No, I don't know if I can take it 13 plus. I don't know. You just don't know anymore. With the NRL, it's just so up and down. The Knights could go on their famous run where they get into the top 8 and they get knocked out first week, second week. They could, for all we know, do that. They do it every year. And then, the Roosters, I just expect them to win this, especially considering they absolutely slapped the Sharks in Cronulla. What was it, 44-18 or 44-16 or something like that, just about 3 weeks ago before Origin 1, where they had Spencer Leniu out. They had Angus Crichton, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, and Robert Toya all out. So to remove those guys to the Roosters and then for them to get a massive win like they did against the Sharks, who have got their problems for sure, who clearly, they're on scam right now, for them to get that win... And I still have that Sharks team well and truly better than the Knights. The Sharks have whooped the Knights at some point this season. I think it was way earlier, though. I'm going to take the Roosters. You know what? I will say 13 plus, but I'm just very well aware that could absolutely be thrown, completely thrown to the trash, and the Knights could get a miraculous 1-12 win. And you know what? With the way this season's gone, they could even win 13 plus, for all I know it. Dead set. Everyone and their dog would have tipped Manly 13 plus yesterday, and you would have been right to do it. Like I said, passionate-wise, love my team, love the Titans, but I'm going to tip them for that reason. But on a realistic level, Manly should have been winning that game 13 plus. They should have been winning that game 13 plus. Titans were in last place with the worst defense, bottom 4 on the attack. Manly were predicted to be a high-placed team this season. They've got, Cherry Evans coming back in to prove a point. They've got Trebojevic coming back in to prove a point. They've got all these guys, and Manly should have been winning 13 plus, and they got absolutely whooped 13 plus. They got beaten 13 plus by the Titans. So that tells you, and that right there is not just about it being my team. It's about how this season is and how this competition is this year, where anything is actually possible. So just don't ever give up hope, no matter who you support at this point. But let's get into the ladder here. So I'm going to take Roosters 13 plus, but I'm just aware that can be absolute dog shit prediction as well. So in 15th place, the Knights, they're on 12 points, which is equal with the Eels and the Titans. Now, more than likely, they will be staying in 15th position. More than likely, they won't be moving. But again, if they get absolutely whooped here, they can go into last. So the Eels are on 12 points with minus 105. The Titans are on 12 points with minus 122. And the Knights are on 12 points with minus 65. So they would have to lose this game by 40 or more points to go below the Eels. And they would have to lose this game by 60 points to go below the Titans. So again, I don't believe they're going to be going below the Titans. Is there a world the Roosters come in and win by about 40, which they kind of did over the Sharks? Yeah, sure, because they did it 3 weeks ago. But I'm not going to say that, right? I still think the Knights probably should stay in 15th. But obviously next week, the Eels and the Titans do play each other. I'm not too sure who the Knights actually play next week. I'm not too sure. But one of those two teams will win, which will ultimately force the Knights to have to win next week. Otherwise, they'll drop another spot. So basically, I've got the Knights finishing in 15 this weekend. If they are to win this game, because the Eels had a bye and the Titans have already played, just to kind of emphasise that. The Knights, if they win this game, there is a shit ton of teams on 14 points. The Rabbitohs, the Tigers, the Dragons, the Roosters, Manly, and the Dolphins are all on 14 points. Now, the Dolphins... The Dolphins play later on today. The Dolphins will be playing the second game today. So forget that. And also their points differential is absolutely ridiculous comparatively to the Knights. Both them and Manly are unattainable for Newcastle because Dolphins have plus 92 and Manly have plus 22. Everybody else is relatively within range, to be completely honest with you. Maybe not the well, because considering this is against the Roosters. So if they win this game, Rabbitohs are on minus 82, so the Knights with their minus 65 will jump them. The Rabbitohs play the Bulldogs tomorrow too, which is a helping hand in Newcastle. If they would have to win by 3 points or more to go above the West Tigers, who have already received their bye. The Dragons have already received their bye too and are on minus 59, so all they would have to win is by 6 or more to go above the Dragons there. With the Roosters being on minus 22 and them being on minus 65, off the top of my head, it's probably around a 26-point switch. 24, to 55, to 45, to 41, 32, 42, or maybe it's something about 20. 45... No, it's about 24 points. It is about 24 points for to win over the Roosters, for them to go up there above them into 11th position. So there is a chance that they could jump as high as 11th this week. I just don't see them beating the Roosters by that many points. But I can see a world, if they do win, they probably do definitely jump the Rabbitohs unless it's a 1 or 2 point win. And if they're beating the Rabbitohs of the 3, then they're probably going to get that 6 to go above the Tigers as well, who have already had their bye. So yeah, it's still a little bit to play for Newcastle. As long as you don't lose by 60, you should be alright for the time being. Roosters, on the other hand, like I said, they're a part of that 14 point gang of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is 6 teams on 14 points. Potentially 17. Not 17, potentially 7 teams after today if the Knights were to win this game, which is just absolutely absurd. If the Roosters lose this game, they would have to lose by about 38 to go below the Dragons, and they would have to lose roughly odd 40 plus points to go below the Tigers. The only way they go down regardless is the Rabbitohs if they were to win against the Dogs tomorrow. They're minus 82. They'd go to 16 points. But ultimately, the Roosters probably will stay in 11th, because I do have the Bulldogs to beat the Rabbitohs tomorrow. So probably they will stay in 11th, even with a loss. Just don't lose by a big margin, right? Because you've still got a much better points differential, negative-wise, than a lot of those teams that are on that same area. They've got the 3rd best points differential with the minus 22 there. If they were to win this game over, it's massive, because they would go above the Manly Seagulls and the Dolphins. Manly have already played. Dolphins play the Cowboys later. One of the Dolphins or Cowboys will go back above them, because the Cowboys are on 15, and one of those two teams, they both play each other after this. So regardless, they won't be able to go as high as they would like. The Panthers have already received their bye, but the Roosters would go above them on a 16, and they'd be equal with the Broncos there. But the Broncos do have a plus 44. So you'd go up to 7th, but the highest you could finish is 8th, and you would actually finish in 8th. You would actually finish... Yeah, you would finish in 8th there, guaranteed. So the Roosters actually will jump up into the top 8 thanks to the Titans beating Manly yesterday. You would be in the top 8 for the time being. But there you go, guys. That is a little bit of the ladder and obviously the game today. Obviously, hit that like button and subscribe. Give me your predictions in the chat. Give me your predictions in the chat. And let's get going here for, hopefully, a good day of rugby league. Bronco Sports with the $3 donations has just booked my grand final tickets up the Titans. Mate, grand final tickets are sold out from Titans fans at this point. They've sold out. They've sold out because the Titans have morals, guarantees. They are morals and guarantees of making that grand final. Gee whiz. Gary says, hey Blaze, everyone, congrats on the Titans win. Yeah, it was good yesterday. It was good to actually be able to enjoy a rugby league match with my team yesterday. Really enjoyable stuff. Really, really enjoyable stuff. Hold on, let me just put that around there. Someone says, let's go Roosters. Big win coming tonight, hopefully. I'm out for this game, but should be back on stream for the next. Good stuff, man. I'll see you then. Logan Borsak says, fun fact, it's Dom Young's first time versing the Knights. Yeah, really? Damn, well, he was there last... When did he come across? Yeah, because he was with the Knights in 2023, and then 2024 is when he came across. So what, did he get it? Was he injured for both games last year? Jack Kirkland says, so happy for you guys with the win the other night. Well deserved. You going to Vegas again next year? Probably not, mate. The teams don't really get me going as much, to be fair. The Roosters will receive this ball and bring it out into the 20 on first tackle. The games don't really get me going as much. Bulldogs, Dragons, and Cowboys, Knights. I definitely don't care for Cowboys, Knights. Bulldogs, Dragons could be interesting, but yeah, look, my mum's team played this year, so that was why I went over. You know, the Titans are preparing a 2027 game. So, no, I think it'll be every kind of 2 years that I'll be looking. Thank you, Jay. I would have forgot it otherwise. Jeez, I'm not on fire today. Not on fire as I was yesterday. I was really prepared yesterday. I was so prepared. I was more prepared than you'd ever imagine. Fit tackle now for the Roosters. They get this ball into the attack enough, 45 metres out from the Knights line. So, yeah, no, I probably won't go to Vegas next year, but the year after, definitely. Philip says, another fun fact, Dom Young, anytime try. Yeah, I like it. I'd expect it. I think that'd be a pretty good one. Few bevs last night, huh? No, I didn't actually go out last night. I'm going out tonight, but I didn't actually go out last night. No, I just kicked back and decided to not watch the cricket anymore and put on a movie. What did I watch? Oh, yeah, that's right. I watched John Wick. I watched John Wick. Great movie. So third tackle, they're at the 15, and they'll go Greg Martiu to the 25 here for the Knights. Not a great opening set here. They're only at the 25, third tackle in. It's going to be interesting to see how Fletcher Hunt... So Anthony said thoughts on Fletcher Hunt. It's going to be interesting to see him playing at the fullback today with no Ponga. That's going to be... Like, it's kind of their only option at this point with no Ponga or Fletcher Sharp in action. So Hunt goes back to the fullback. He was good last week. It was really, really solid. I just hope that the Knights don't mess him around too much by having to obviously mix him up a lot. But Tedesco brings blood to the 35. Good run from him. But no, I think Fletcher Hunt is solid. Just it's very hard to get a read on wingers when they're at poor clubs, like for example, the Titans or the Knights or the Tigers and whatnot. It's very difficult to get a read on wingers. But he had a good game last week. Jack Kirkland says, thoughts if Penrith can win again? Penrith can win again. I don't think they win again, but they can win again for sure. Third tackle at the halfway point. They go out to the left-hand side here, the Roosters. Their average set distance in this first 3 minutes has been way more superior than what the Knights just put up on offer. Way better immediately. So out to Sanders Smith. Then that was a really pedestrian run. Man, I think that after yesterday, Manly are in so much trouble, dude. There is so much pedestrian play that Manly are playing currently. Roosters kick it up. Greg Martiu will get taken down here. He's lost the ball. He's lost the ball. They're going to say it went backwards, though. A lot of the time, they just say that's a loose carry and they've lost it, but they haven't said that went backwards, so it's fine. And Greg Martiu brings it out here to the 25. Second tackle. I was very close, actually, not even streaming this game today. Just because I don't think it's going to get the blood pumping. But the reason why I did it is because last week, that Knights Manly game looked like it was going to be absolutely dog shit. And it turned out to be the game of the round by a long way. So out to the right now. And Kaipi's Paul will get it to the 35 on fourth tackle. 4 minutes in. Brayley to Crossland cross, and he pass the ball again. Oh, they're away. Dylan Lucas away at the 50, at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25. Does he pass? He doesn't. He goes it himself. Tedesco got done over, but he gets taken down 10 metres out. Great run there from Dylan Lucas. Great run. Out to the left, they might have numbers galore. They do have numbers galore, Newcastle, and they will score. It's 4-0 here with a kick to come. And this is what I'm saying, man. You tip one thing and just, it all goes whack straight away. You tip one thing and it just goes all whack. Then again, Manly did score first yesterday. But damn, that is a bad start here for the Roosters. They looked like clearly the better team the first 3 minutes. Like, they were dominating the field position, but then Dylan Lucas just breaks away so quickly and so easily. And if you're a Sharks fan, don't look at this, because you lost to this team by 40-odd points 3 weeks ago very easily with the same amount of players out. Jay doesn't believe it. Well, start believing, son. Don't stop believing. Don't stop believing. But the Knights will score. And is that... This guy's not a debutant, is he? Kyle McCarthy. Has he played one? How many games has Kyle McCarthy played? He's the one who scored the try. I can actually have a look here if I click on his thing. He has played... Oh, he's born in Hong Kong. He has played... Oh, so he debuted against the Sharks. Was that earlier this season? No, he's had 4 appearances. 2025, he's had 3 appearances. So he had 1 game last year and then 3 games this year. Did he? Yeah, okay. So he was a replacement against the Titans and a replacement against the Sharks, but he played the full 80 minutes against the Tigers, the Panthers, and the Dragons, yeah. Yeah, he played 1 game last year and they lost. So there you go, Kyle McCarthy scores, and it's 4-0 here to the Knights. 4-0 to the Knights. Who's kicking it, eh? Is it? Oh, it's Gagai, isn't it? And Gagai will get it. Gagai will get the kick, so it's 6-0 Newcastle, 5 minutes into the game. You've got to be happy with that start, though, especially considering last week against Manly, the first half, they didn't score a single point. They were down 16-0 at half-time. Yes, they won the game, but the first half was a disappointing one. That's a great step there from Dylan Lucas as well, breaking away from the halfway point. That is a fantastic step. He is one of the in-form back rowers, and it's difficult to do that, especially when you're playing for, quite a poor club. But 6-0. 6-0 it is. Especially considering that field position was not in their favour at all. But the Roosters will kick it off now, and the Knights will bring it out here from their own in-goal, Greg Martiu. He takes it out to the 10. I'm glad they scored, though, because it means that it might be actually a decent enough game. And again, if the Knights win this, it does keep them in the hunt for the 8. I know it's crazy to say, but quite literally, if anyone goes on a bit of a run, like between last place and 17th, all the way up to 6th place in 6th, it is only 2 wins separating. Only 2 wins. Both the Eels and the Titans have 4 wins, who are equal last. Knights have had 5. They've just had... Yeah, the Knights have 5. It's only 2 wins between them and the Bronx. It's just that the points differential is a major switch between those 2 teams and the Bronx. So out of the right, and the Knights here at the 45 will kick this one down to Tedesco, who grabs it at the 3. And he's going to bring it out here at 5, 10, and to the 15, first tackle. I just don't know. You can't write any team off right now. You should be able to write the Titans, the Eels, and like the Tigers out. But mathematically speaking, you can't actually write anybody off at the moment. Up to Billy Smith, and Billy Smith with a solid run to the 25 on third tackle. And up until last week, the Knights had only won 1 out of their first 4 games at McDonald's Jones Stadium too. So, playing at home in Newcastle hasn't necessarily been as strong as they've hasn't necessarily been as strong as they've wanted it to be this year. But that's going to be a penalty to the Roosters. Penalty to the Roosters. Slapper says absolute shitter teams. Thanks, Slapper. Yeah, not exactly. It doesn't really get your blood pumping. But anything can happen. We saw last week. Jared Farm Money says 2025 really is a crazy year for sports halfway through. For sports? In what way? For rugby league, okay, sure. But in what way? I wouldn't say Super Rugby's too crazy at the moment. Good tackle there from the Knights that bring the Roosters back here to the 50 on first tackle. What other sports? What other sports? Second tackle, I think South Africa winning the World Test Championship, which they are at this point, unless they do a massive, massive choke. They will win it. That's pretty crazy, to be fair. That was an awful offload from Nafahu White. But Uela gets his ball and brings it out here too. Oh, that was awful from the Roosters. Just awful. That was really, really awful stuff, and it will be a knock-on there from the Roosters. It all starts because of Nafahu White. It all started because Nafahu White, with his pretty poor offload there, was just no needed for it. And then the hooker here for the Roosters, which is Benai Uelu, just throws a pass and it's a knock on. So not a good start here from East at all. I'm just trying to figure out what other crazy sports has been this year. The Premier League was pretty much fine. Liverpool, I know it wasn't City that won, but Liverpool winning was relatively normal. I guess NBA. Oh, yeah, the hockey is very good right now. Both the hockey and NBA is actually really good in the finals. Yeah, Edmonton and Florida are playing out one of the all-time NHL series I've ever seen in the finals. And they played it last year, and it was, 4-3 to Florida. And then this year it's OKC and Indiana. I'm just not too interested in those two teams, but it's some great basketball being played too. So fit tackle for the Knights, and they'll get his ball just inside the attack and a half. Pacers could win the playoffs that not many people saw coming. I've still got the Thunder to win, but it is a good series. I do think the Super Rugby this year has been good with better stories and results. Also, Auckland FC first year in the A-League. Yeah, but Auckland didn't win. Like, sure, they won something that, like a minor premiership effectively, but they didn't win. It was Melbourne City, which is pretty typical. Relatively typical anyway. But yeah, I'll give NBA and NHL for sure. Mixed indoor lawn bowls has been crazy this year. Yeah, Jay's a big lawn bowls fan. Comes with age. Comes with his age. 10 minutes into the first half. 30 minutes to go the first half. Hit that like button and subscribe. 10 minutes in. And Siwa Wong gets the ball to the 40. They have not had an attack in his first 10 minutes. Yeah, massive, Jay. Massive. Isn't Australia okay at lawn bowls in the Olympics? I swear we had like a really good lawn bowl guy at the Olympics. I haven't played lawn bowls since I was a kid doing that. What is it? Barefoot bowls. That's it. And I don't know if I've ever watched it, but I think I heard something about us being pretty good at lawn bowls. Shit. Pacers being severe underdogs is great to see. The only reason I really care about this series is nice, Mitchell. Nice is. You're asking the wrong man about lawn bowls, mate. Jay, no, we're not. You are the best. Are you the guy? You're just trying to be humble right now. Is it you that is the good lawns bowl man? Lawns bowl? Lawn bowls man. I think it is. I think it's you. So third tackle. And, crunched out at the 45. Fourth tackle here for Newcastle. Good hit there from Salesi Feketi. And Jackson Hastings running to the 44. Fit tackle. Well, nice scoring probably means that they're definitely not going to be losing by as much as they would have needed to go below anybody. But again, next week, I wonder who they do play next week. I want to go quickly have a look. Tedesco brings out here to about the 15. Don't know where that came from, but just snuck up on me. Yeah, look, it's been at least, at the very least, Roosters with a good run. Dom Young to the 35 or so second tackle. At least with it, neither team has won the NBA before. The Knights play the Dolphins in Perth next week. Oh, it's a one-game thing in Perth. It's not like a back-to-back. That's weird. Usually they do 2 games over there, but the Dolphins play Perth. The Dolphins play Knights in Perth next week. So that'll be a very important one for them to win, because if they don't win, Roosters knock it on again, dude. Oh no, Grassy McGrath is having a field day here from the Sydney Roosters. He's having a field day. Having an absolute field day. What's with all these offloads? Like, he caught the ball and then he tried to get an offload. I don't think that was a knock-on at all. I thought that went back there from the 1 and twice, but that's their third mistake in the first 12 minutes of this game. So yeah, if the Knights don't beat, well, to be fair, if they win this game, then it doesn't really matter about the Eels and Titans next week. Because I'd probably be tipping the Dolphins in that one, especially with Hamiso on that bat. Real enthralling game for the Perthians. Yeah, I don't know why they would have selected that one to take over there for Perth. Dolphins and Newcastle, you're not going to get Dolphins fans really travelling, and I don't think Knights fans are going to really make their way all across the Perth. Obviously, the locals will get to it, but it's just a really odd game to have taken to Perth. I understand why you take the Rabbitohs over quite frequently, every year nearly. The Rabbitohs play there. Knights to the 40. That'll be 4 tackle. But Dolphins versus Newcastle is just an odd selection in my opinion. Even back in October, September of last year when they're doing the draw, like that's a really odd selection to take over. There's no real kind of emphasis on a fan base to make the trip. And the Knights give it back to... That's a penalty. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Sydney, that's silly. Oh, Sydney, that's silly. So Egan Butcher will give away a penalty on fair tackle. The ball was passed back to him, and he just obviously never got back up from the tackle, and they threw it to him, and it'll be zip penalty. Yeah, he never should have been putting his hand out for that ball. So Knights will get another attacking opportunity now. I think they'll just take the tap. Yeah, they will. They will just take the tap here. So Jackson Hastings off to Matt Kroger. And he's going to be 18 metres out, first tackle. Brayley off to Crossland. Crossland then to Brodie Jones. And he's lost the ball. Unless it's a strip. It's either a lost ball or a strip. And they will call it a knock on. I actually thought Radley might have ripped that ball out. I think he's trying to say to challenge it, but they're not going to challenge it. I actually feel that might have... Oh, is he trying to get an offload? Radley's arms there. No, that's a strip for sure, man. I could tell a mile away. I don't know why they didn't actually challenge that. I don't know why they didn't challenge that. That was definitely a strip there from Radley. You can see his left arm really bringing that ball out. So scrum to the Roosters at the 10. But that, for me, was definitely the wrong call. Nwangane Tawase out to the 15 now, first tackle, 14 minutes in. Second tackle, Siwa Wong to the 25. If the Roosters can win this game by a decent enough margin without... Like, if you're a Sharks fan, this is going to be really painful for you to watch. It's going to be super painful. Third tackle now at the 15, or 25, sorry. And that's a forward pass. Oh my gosh, Roosters are playing. This is very Roosters style though this year. They do make a lot of errors, but they can score points. This is about 5. Have they completed a set here, Sydney? I don't know if the Roosters have completed a single set. Well, it's actually, they've completed 4, but it doesn't feel like it. It's about to be 4 from 7. So they're going to go under 60%. They're close enough. They're close enough to the 50. They're close to, if they don't complete their next set, they will be 50% completion rate. Yikes. Alright, so the Knights here, 25 metres out. Grassy McGrath is having the most field day play of all time. Fletcher Hunt, a little scoop. He's 20 metres out, second tackle. It is a Knights game though, so we are quite usually used to knock-ons in Knights games. Crossland to Jackson Hastings. And Kai Pearce-Paul to the 10. Only 4 metres for our play on. You play on. Play on if it's the Broncos. Anybody else, then no, we've got to come back for it. Jackson Hastings gives it off. Cogger. And Dylan Lucas will be 4 metres away from the line. 4 tackle. 16 minutes in. Knights on the line. Brayley to Cogger. Cogger steps. There's a big hole there. Brodie Jones. He won't be able to get over. He'll be about 2 metres short. Fit tackle. There was a huge hole there, though. And Brayley goes himself. Played out there. Offside, knock on. Whatever you want to call it. It's Knights ball. I probably would have said it was knocked on into a Roosters player who was offside, which would have constituted a penalty from right in front. But either way, the Knights will get the ball 10 metres out from the line. This is a good start for the Knights. Especially considering they're without Kalen Ponga, Fletcher Sharp, and also Tyson Frizzell. It's important outs. Just like the Titans yesterday. They had no Tino. They had no Moeki Fotuaika. They had no Dave Fafita. They had no Keanu Kinney. And their game is slap Manly. It's slap Manly. Slap him. I did message my dad last night saying your team's shit. It's the first time I could say that in like 2.5 months to anybody. So the Knights, Kai Pearce-Paul. And he'll be second tackle here at the 10. 23 minutes to go first half. 10 metres out. Brodie Jones to Jack Cogger. Jack Cogger out to McCarthy. And McCarthy will be taken down 8 metres out. Third tackle. Roosters defense. How you going? Crossland to Hastings. Hastings short ball. Kai Pearce-Paul. Oh, damn, he's just kind of tripped up his... Sandon Smith got a little grab of his left ankle there, otherwise it looked like he was over. Brayley, fourth tackle, short, 5 metres out now, fifth tackle for Matt Croker, nearly a 6 again. Jaden Brayley, Cogger kicks it through, played... No, the Roosters will get it. Damn, are they going to call it knock on? Oh, my God. Oh, they knock on Newcastle, so Roosters ball here, it will come out to the 10. Oh, touch... Yeah, they're saying touch backwards by Roosters and then Newcastle knock on. So, Chooks ball. Hold on, this is coming to Roosters. Well, they're not looking good right now. The old Chooky Chooksters are not looking undeniable right as we speak. Yeah, definitely knock on there. I don't know where they've said knock back from the Roosters, but definitely knock on there for the Knights. It's really odd, though. Like... On Instagram, there's so many Knights fans who keep talking about how, like, the Titans are the worst team in the comp. It's hilarious that they keep bringing it up, considering that the Titans have beaten the Knights both times this year. They've literally got a 100% success rate against the Knights in 2025. So it astounds me and it amazes me that Knights fans have the audacity to talk shit to to the Titans right now. Whilst we may be below on the table, it is only by points differential, and also we have beaten them twice this year. And we came back on them by 20-0 down at their own home stadium, and we beat them by 20 plus when they're at Seabus. So, like, out of all teams right now, I think that you should probably be picking on the Eels the most, because it's very easy to put you back in your place. Like, it's insane to me that they're trying to say that the Titans are the worst team in the comp. Honey says, did your team win yesterday? Well, you're very well aware they did. So the Knights here will get taken down here at the 15, and it'll be first tackle. Cogger off to Greg Marty. Like, it's a fine coping mechanism, but it's just very easy to put your team back on the limelight. So 20 minutes gone in the first half, 20 minutes to go. Hit that like button and subscribe. 20 minutes gone. Still 6-0 to the Knights. They scored in the first 3 minutes of the game. And the Roosters haven't even looked likely. There hasn't been a single time the Roosters have even looked remotely likely. Crossland to Hastings. Hastings to Kai Pearce-Paul. And fifth tackle now at the 45. And the reason why the Roosters haven't looked likely is because of all their errors, which has been pretty common throughout their season. And Tedesco will grab his ball at the 15 and take it out to the 25. Nice little jink and run there, but it was able... Jackson Hastings was able to get the tackle before he got through. And now Daniel Tupou to the 35. I honestly just want to see... I just want to see the Roosters get into the attack and half at this point without knocking the ball on. Because currently, they sit at 57% completion rate. As long as they complete this set, they won't go to 50%. If they don't, they'll be at literally 50%. So the Roosters to the 40 on fourth tackle. Fourth tackle. Out to the right to Radley. And now Radley will get it to the 35 on fifth tackle. Sharon Famone says, Knights fans calling Titans the worst team in the comp, question mark. Someone should remind them the worst team came back and beat the Knights by 4. I did. There was a comment before. From the guys at the United, which was really odd. Where is it? And penalty to Newcastle coming off their own 5. Good stuff for Roosters. Newcastle. So they posted saying, lost to the best team to a Manly fan, a Manly content creator. The Knights said, lost to the best team in the comp last week. Now they're the worst team. So obviously Manly lost to the Knights last week and then lost to the Titans this week. And then I replied, damn, that worst team in the comp beat the best team twice this year. Impressive. It's just absurd to me. It's like, man, stick in your own lane, man. You know, like, before you start going and attack and realize where your team is at, man, and who your team has lost to both times this season. Knight Rider says, if Knights win, bet the house on bunnies over doggies. If the Knights win, bet the bunnies over doggies? Why? Why has the bunnies doggies got to do with this game? Are you saying because of the upset? Because, like, the Dragons didn't upset the Sharks on Thursday. The Sharks still got that win on Thursday, 30-18. Underdogs winning all the time. Sure, yeah, the Titans did have an underdog win against Manly last night. This game, both teams have plenty of players out. But, yeah, I thought the Roosters should have been heavy favourites considering. But, yeah, I would say, sure, I could see a world where the Rabbitohs beat the Dogs, especially with, you know, Matt Burton being out, and they've got Galvin and Sexton as their halves, so it'll be interesting to see how they kind of play, use their team. But the Dogs aren't necessarily impacted a great deal from Origin. Besides, they are a little bit, actually. Burton and Crichton Oh, Max King as well. No, sorry, I forgot about. For some reason, my brain didn't click on to Crichton and Max King. So they do have 3 players out. Am I missing anybody else? I don't think so, am I? I don't think there's anybody else. Burton, Crichton, and Max King. Victor Radley now gets his ball to the 30, and it's going to be 4 tackle. And they go out to the right. Nafahu White, Kurt Mann. Oh, yeah, Kurt Mann as well. Yeah, you're right, actually. Hey, to be fair, the Rabbitohs could have a crack. But then again, the Rabbitohs lose out on players as well. Like, they're not going to be with Trell. They're not going to have... Oh, it's just Trell, actually, for the Rabbits. Knights now bring this player to the 30 on first tackle. Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell both out. With Jai Gray, Lewis Dodd, and Ryan Gray coming in. So, a big couple outs there for the Rabbits. But yeah, Max King, Stephen Crichton, Matt Burton, and Kurt Mann. White had a bad game last time, so he'll be great this game. Are you a Rabbitohs fan by any chance, Night Rider? I'm just asking. Are you a Rabbitohs fan by any chance? It's seeming very Rabbitoh-centric right now. But I admire the positivity. So it will be a 4-pass here from Newcastle. The Roosters will get the ball at the 45. And this might be their first attack nearly ever in the history of Buddy Sydney Roosters. Very forward from Brayley. Tupanua and Salmon also injured. Yeah, sure. We'll still go with the 4 Origin players. The 4 Origin, like Tupanua and Salmon, sure, but you know why I'm saying sure, comparatively to the 4 guys that we're referring to. Because everyone can talk about injuries. Everyone. Literally every team's got injuries. So it's like injuries are part of it, but the Origin players, that's a bit of a different story. Billy Smith now to the 45. Kayleen says go the Knights. Yeah, well, they're looking all right now. They're definitely the better team in this first 24 minutes. Definitely been the better team in the first 24 minutes. 35 metres out from the Knights line. And Zach Docker-Clay gives it off here to Hugo Savala. And then Nafahu White will get this ball to the 30. Third tackle, 25 metres away. This is their first... I think this is their first attack opportunity. Oh my gosh, they've dropped the ball to the grass. Oh my gosh, I nearly can't deal with you, Roosters. Oh my gosh, I just don't understand it. Like, how are professional players playing at this standard week in, week out, and they're able to get wins? This is the craziest thing about the Roosters right this season, is that they play like this and can still find a way to win sometimes. Like against the Sharks, they looked like absolutely prime time on the attack, but in the middle of the field, they would still make a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors, like a lot of problems. I tell you what, it's crazy how the Roosters make so many errors and still find a way to win some random games. Like even when they won by 40, they just that should be a mistake. Oh, it's a penalty. Oh my God, Sydney. Oh my gosh. Night Rider says, no, I'm a Waz fan, just trying to figure out my tipping. No, I get it. I do understand that the underdog is very tempting this year. And that's why I said, like, before this game, Roosters should be winning this game 13+, even with their plays out, based on the fact that they did against the Sharks a couple of weeks ago. But knowing how this season is going, like, you just don't know anything ever. Yeah, we just don't know anything. We never will know anything about the season this year. Teams are getting wins left, right, and centre that you never would have expected. So Crossland gives it off to Matt Kroger in second tackle inside the 30. So the Roosters didn't even get an attacking opportunity because they made a mistake. Kroger off to Hastings, back to Dane Gagai, and Gagai's going to be third tackle, 18 metres away. Is JT in? Who's JT? Who's JT? Fourth tackle now, 10 metres away from Newcastle. 14 minutes into the first, 14 minutes to go the first half. Kroger, Jackson Hastings. Hastings steps, and he'll be 5 metres away. Fifth tackle. That's a very serious, immortal behaviour from McGrath. Mate, I'm telling you, this is the greatest season I've ever seen. Greatest season from Grass McGrath I've ever seen in my life. It's really impressive. Kick it through, and that's going to be a 7 tackle set here for the Roosters. Really poor kick there. James Tedesco, of course he is. Why would he not be? Jared Farmoni says, if Roosters keep playing like this, we're in for a very long game. Oh, boy. Oh, they're going to check this. They're going to see if a play's been taken out. Well, you can't do anything about this one here, referee, because you said the Sharks-Dragons one was fine, so let's see a little bit of consistency here. He's already decided to make the tackle. He's already making the tackle. Oh, that's what they're looking at. They're not looking at that. They're looking at Mark Nwangane-Tawase. So Mark Nwangane-Tawase has touched that ball and it's gone dead. But the issue here is that they didn't need to challenge that. The bunker would have overturned that. So it's good that it's a challenge successful, but also technically they didn't need to challenge that because the bunker would have brought that back for a dropout. The bunker always has a look at set 20 meter set restart plus also the dropouts when it's in play there. So Blake Stick comes on here for Celeste Fiketti. 13.5 minutes to go the first half. Dropout coming up from the Roosters. Egan Butcher is looking a bit worse for wear. So short dropout. We'll go to about the 15. Good chase! Oh, knock on from the Roosters. That was a really good attempt though. So 0 tackle here for the Knights at the 23. Give it to Jackson Hastings. And the Knights will be 10 metres out first tackle. Considering how much ball and how much better position the Knights have been in, you'd really hope that they're able to put some more points on. I know they're the worst attacking team in the competition this year, statistically, but you'd really hope they can put some points on, considering all this. Jackson Hastings! Oh, half a metre short. Third tackle. They roll it back to Brayley. Brayley then gives it out underneath to Crossland, who'll be 5 metres away. 4 tackles, Seb Watson's favourite player. And Brayley's going to be fit tackle at 4. Not fantastic attack here from Newcastle this set. Crossland to Jack Cogger. Cogger dinks it over. And it's a good take from Nwangane-Tawase. And then he'll bring it out to about the 8. Seb Watson says he missed out in Super League yesterday. Cutlan's had a man sent off because he started throwing hands. I feel like in the English game, you see there's more fights in the English game. I don't know what it is, but you just see more of the English lads in the Super League not give a shit comparatively to the Rugby League and the NRL. Olivia says, in the car with my Augie going home from the dog park. We'll do my donut when I get home. Olivia's at the point where she's like, I'm going to do it. We will get the dono. Another day of a dono is coming. Just please be patient. Come back from the dog park. Walking Reece Welsh around. So 4 tackle. Now fit for the Roosters at the halfway point. 11:40 to go. And Docker Clay to Hugo Savala. I don't know, why was Savala originally why was he originally the 5'8"? Oh no, they nearly let him away, but it will be Knights taken down. Oh, is that a high tackle against Dom Young? Damn, this is going to be a low-scoring game, dude. Jackson Hastings out to James Schiller. And Schiller's going to be 25 metres away, 28 metres away from his own line, second tackle. Jackson Hastings to Dane Gagai. He cuts back to the right. Not great set here. 33 metres out, third tackle. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the Super League, I always hear about a punch on here and a punch on there and a fight and people actually throwing hands rather than just pushing and shoving. But you get over here. 4 tackle now. Crossland to Jackson Hastings. Hastings to Kai Pierce-Paul. Pierce-Paul. Dane Gagai. Dane Gagai cuts in. And it'll be 45 metres out. Fifth tackle. Good to see Gagai wait for the dummy half there. We've seen a lot of players get done over on the quick play the ball so far this season. And Tedesco gets his ball at the 10. 10 minutes to go the first half. 10 minutes to go. Still 6-0 to the Knights. Thumbs up and subscribe. Mitchell says that's because Kane Evans is over there. Is Kane Evans still playing? Is he still playing? And also Warrior Hargraves is over there as well, isn't he? He loves a bit of a biffo, a little bit of a oof oof. And it says morning from a sunny, cloudy Manchester. Now we're getting truth here from Andrew. Wow, nice. Really nice to see an Englishman actually being honest about the weather over there. Cloudy Manchester. Hope you're well. There was a biffo in the whole game here last night, and it ended up with a 72-point game. The Roosters are away. Dom Young, the 35 to 30, the 25 back on the inside. Tedesco, great tackle. They throw the ball to Grassy McGrath, but it goes backwards. Fifth tackle now, 10 metres out for the Roosters. Great run there from Dom Young. Tedesco following up, but then a fantastic tackle for the Knights to stop a guaranteed try. They give it across here to Radley. Radley off to Sandon Smith at the 20. He's 15 metres out. Sandon Smith going. That was nice work there from him. Billy Smith, great defence by James Schiller in the end. Stops the try. And fifth tackle, switch over. And that was a 72-point game. I'm on over 7 tries here, looking pretty terrible. This game is looking awful for over 7 tries, to be completely honest with you. And the Knights will be taking it down to the 8. At least we've seen a little bit of life out of the Roosters. It's the first bit of life that we have seen from Sydney all game so far. It was just really impressive. They didn't knock the ball on. So the Knights get the ball through Greg Martier to the 25 on third tackle. Shows up the Waz. Well, Waz aren't playing this week. They got their freebie 2 points. They are currently in equal first. If the Bulldogs were to lose tomorrow to the Rabbitohs, you would be in equal first for the rest of this weekend. Yeah, that would be who do you play next week? Actually, there was. The Panthers, big game considering they're making a bit of a move up the table at the moment. Roosters with the ball, they'll bring it out to the 15th to Tedesco. And the Raiders next week will play against the Tigers, so you would expect the Raiders to win that. And the Bulldogs will play the bye, so you'd expect them to win that too. Very big expectation there. You'd expect that one for sure. Third tackle now for the Roosters. Ball says, all this talk about the Super League got me thinking about Daniel Alvaro at Toulouse Olympique. I didn't even realise Alvaro was still cracking on. It's a good kick, but it won't go over the 40-20, and Fletcher Hunt will bring this ball out here to the 35 on the night side of the field. 8 minutes left. Jared Foman says, I've seen some great Super League Biffo compilations recently. They don't care. They'll throw hands everywhere. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Our game is so much more professional nowadays that they just don't want to risk the 1, the fine, 2, the suspension, and 3, the send-off. Super League, it's just another world. Another world where they're just like, I don't give a shit if I get sent off. I'm going to whack you. Out to Dane Gagai. It'll be 4 tackle here for the Knights, just inside the Roosters half. And 6 again. Damn, you're all... Okay, so Charlie, we get it, mate. I gave you a good response for the Warriors, but we're not going to keep commenting up the was. Especially when the Warriors aren't playing today, let alone in this game, let alone this week. So it's like, get ya. You love the was. Save it for another day. Jackson Hastings here will be taken down here at the 25 on third tackle. 7 minutes to go the first half. And that's a 6 again for sure. That's a 6 again for sure, referee. Oh, come on, man. You have to call that. That was definitely a 6 again against Stacklock and Clay. And it says, hey, on the road with my dad, driving up to Coffs. Hope you're all doing well. Why are you going to Coffs? You going to Coffs to... No, I can't even... I'm not going to make the insult. I'll leave you alone for this one. Jared Farmo says, especially if they're spelling Waz wrong. Got a proofread. Yeah, he's not even spelling up the Waz correctly. Oh! Wow, how has Siwa Wong caught that ball? He puts his hand out, knocks the ball down, and then onto his boot, bounces back up, and he catches it. So it's not a knock-on. Oh, good offload there from the moment to Wasane Tedesco to the 35. Roosters are starting to wake up a bit here. Logan says, Charlie, remember when the Titans put 60 on you? Just going up for some time away. So you don't want me to remind you about the Eels then? And how we're going to slap you next week? Oh, Andrew. Oh, boy. You got me to deal with next week, son. You got me to deal with next week. Shimmy on. Deary me, I'm scared for you. Radley's come off the field here. I feel like it's a HIA. Damn, he gets a lot of them. Ouch, Charlie. Oh, maybe it's not a HIA. Maybe it's an actual injury. God bless him. So, Roosters kick this one through. Fletcher Hunt grabs it. Very nice under the high ball there. Makatoa comes on for White. And the Knights with the ball at the 15 on their side of the field. He's gone straight into the dressing room, Radley. So he's off for at least this first half. The rest of this 5 minutes. I'm not looking forward to next week. Why not, Andrew? Come on, Andrew. Why not? Why not? Because the Titans have been the most consistent team ever, right? They're very consistent. Very, very consistent. Your boys played well last night. We did, against a very vulnerable Manly team. I won't overrate it. I will say that it was a good win. It was a fantastic start. Still a lot of problems at this club. I still have a bit of a bleak... I think there's still a bit of a bleak future there, but people are obviously allowed to be happy and celebrate getting a win for sure, especially when you support a tough club. But... yeah, no, I think there's a long way to go before this team will prove to me. Like, they went from 17th to 17th. But it was a good win against Manly, for sure. But Manly also lost the Knights last week when they're up 16-0. Daniel Tupou, he's going to get it out to the 45. I'm surprised he didn't pass that ball. He had the option. Gary says, listening in the car, driving home from the site meeting, managed to get day 1, 5th Ashes test at the SCG. Absolutely pumped for that. Fingers crossed, something to play for. Shay Slabia. The SCG 5th day. Well, you're going to see something there. It's going to be rain. But the SCG always reigns. If I'm going to the SCG, it means you're putting me into a mental asylum because we never get to watch any cricket. Roosters flick the ball over the top here to Daniel Tupou, who's still going at the 20. Cool, 18 metres away from the line. What's with people in their bloody cars? I know it's a big car driving day. We've got some bloke driving to Coffs. We've got some bloke driving in England, and we've got Olivia driving to back from the dog park. It's all over the shop. And Knights will grab it in the field of play, and first tackle for the Knights. You're still moving to Canada, Andrew? Oh, dearie me, I hope he's moving to Finland or something. Get him as far away as possible, that Parramatta man. Get that Parramatta man as far away as possible. Riding an emu is better than cars. Yes, Mitchell, that's what they do over in Western Australia. The emus took over, so the emus actually ride the people over there in Western Australia. That's what happens when you lose a war to them. And that should be a high tackle. Yep, that's a penalty in Newcastle at their own 35. Finnish women are out of his league. Finnish women? Are they really? I don't think... Oh, hold on. Victor Radley was a HIA, mind you. I was right. Finnish women, I'd say Scandinavians are really well known for being well renowned and known for having attractive women. Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. I don't know if Finnish women are usually regarded as unbelievably attractive comparatively. I could be wrong though. Highlanders fans, all the teams I'm tipping this week are losing. Well, you should start tipping the winners. How about that for thought process? Maybe you should start not... Maybe... Why did you tip the Dragons or the Sharks? Why did you tip the Dragons or the Sharks? Second tackle over the Knights at 25. Who has the best opportunity to win this match? Well, based off the first half, Newcastle. Based off of what you would have thought pre-game, probably the Roosters. Jackson Hastings, Greg Marty knocks it on, and the Roosters will bring it out here to the 25 on zero tackle. Can I ask what is happening to the Aussies against South Africa? They're not playing well. What else would you like to know? When you win quite literally everything, you know, it doesn't... Well, we just want to beat England. You know, at the end of the day, like, if we lose to India, it's just annoying because we have to deal with the fan base online. You know, we lose to WTC to South Africa, they're a team that we can tolerate. You know, but if we lose to England, you just cancel. You cancel cricket in Australia. If we lose to England in anything, we cancel the game of cricket. And Nwangane to Wase to the 35 on fourth tackle. A minute 20 to go here the first half. This game's been pretty dreadful. Pretty? Very. It's been very dreadful, this one. And Zach Clay fit tackle. But we are in a Newcastle game, so are we surprised? So up it goes there from Sanders Smith. Knock on from the Knights. So the Roosters will get what? They've got to be quick. They've got to be super quick. They've got to be super quick. Why was that comment removed, Mitchell? Wait, what? Did you time Gary out? What did he do? Oh, no, Gary. Yeah, no, Mitchell's right. No, you're right. Yeah, no, you are right, Mitchell. No, I put my hands up and I say I didn't even recognise it. I did not even recognise it, but you're going to have to explain to Gary why you did that, and I get it. I understand what he's done. That is correct. That is correct. He'll have a complaint when he gets back from his timeout, but that is correct. What you've done there, Mitchell. Well done. You know, well done. So first tackle here for the Roosters, and they're 25 metres away here from the Knights line. 30 seconds to go the first half. They give it off here to Siwa Wong, and he's going to be 18 metres out. 25 seconds left here. Geez, it'll be hard done by. It'll be super hard done by if the Knights do go into this half at 6-6. Out to Billy Smith. The Roosters definitely don't deserve to be having a try in this one so far, but there's a chance. Third tackle, 15 metres out. Grass McGrath touches it again, but it goes backwards. And arguably high tackle there. 4, 3, 2, 1. He's going to play the ball. Oh, no, he wasn't able to play the ball. You could argue, though, that any other time that's getting called as a 6 again. Any other time that's getting called 6 again penalty, like any other time. So I understand why the Roosters are complaining here, because they held on for a long time and then had an extra player come in. Yeah, but the issue is here, Sutton. The issue is that you have allowed the Knights to add an extra player into the tackle just to hold them for longer, which defeats the purpose and is ultimately should be, well, it should be a 6 again, which doesn't really change much, but then it would have been called a penalty. Tedesco's right in this situation. Sutton's an idiot, but then again, we've known this for a very long time. So it's half-time here. It is half-time. 6-0 to Newcastle. 6-0 to the Knights. It's been a dreadful first half. When I go through these stats, it's been a dreadful first half. But guys, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And yeah, hopefully the second half can be a little bit better. But yeah, Sutton, very poor. Very poor decision there, to be completely honest with you, because it was very clear what the Knights did. But all right, let's get into these stats. And also, Mitchell, you do need to explain to Gary why you timed him out. Because even though I get it, and I'm sure Jay does, you might have to help him out. So, possession-wise, 54% of the Knights, 46% of the Roosters. Time of possession is 17 minutes for the Knights and 14 minutes there for the Roosters. So that's actually a lot of time possession. That means 31 minutes. There's only been 9 or so, 8.5 or so minutes where neither team has been with the ball, which is actually pretty good. Completion rate for both teams. The Roosters, yeah, that's pathetic. So 79% here for the Knights at 19 from 24. It's pretty average. 80% is pretty much the basis. They're at 79%. You're not going to complain too much, but you still want to see it a little bit better. The Roosters at 68% with 13 from 19. So that is not good. It's just simply really, really poor. You can't be having under 70% and the base is 80%. Now, I would have actually expected it to be worse. I thought it definitely felt worse, but 13 from 19 and 14 from 20 now, so it's back to 70%. It's actually not as bad as I originally thought it was going to be, but it's still bad. It's still poor. All runs 108 for the Knights, 108 for the Knights, 75 for the Roosters. This will update at halftime, so take this as a guide. 942 run meters there, 952 run meters for the Knights, and 769 for the Roosters. So there is a 34 run gap between the two teams, which is not good news for the Knights at 6-0. They should be up by more considering this gap. 952 to 778 through 33 now. So this basically means if you equal it out, so the Knights are up by about 110 to 78, so it's a 22 run gap now. Yeah, 22 run gap. So 952 to 791. To do the math, it's about a 160 run meter difference right now. 160 run meter difference with an extra 22. So the Roosters are actually winning the middle. The Roosters are actually, if you were to give the equal from both sides, the Roosters would be up around the 1,000 meter mark right now. Yeah. No, so it is 30. The Roosters are actually killing them with the run meters. Yeah, it is. 90, 100, 110. So it's a 30 run difference. If you give 10 meters per run and you give the Roosters 110 runs, that's about 300 more meters. So they'd be about 1,130. That'd be about 1,130. They are whooping the Knights in regards to meters. I guarantee you they've got a better average set distance. Guarantee it. Post-contact meters is 312 to the Knights and 302 to the Roosters. That's 29 runs difference, and they're only 13 more runs in the lead. 315 to 302. That's just ridiculous. The Roosters are destroying them in regards to run meters and post-contact. They just don't have enough ball. Line breaks is 2-2. Tackle breaks is 14-12, so not that bad defensively, actually. Both teams will actually have a pretty good effective tackle percentage with that. Average set distance is 41.99 for the Roosters and 40.93 for the Knights. I'm surprised the Knights have that much in average set distance. I'm surprised they're into the really good category of 40 to 45, but they're at the very low end of the very good category, whilst the Roosters are at 42.75, so they're they're 43.29 now, so they're still middle, but upper end of very good. Anything from 40 to 45 is very good. 45 to 50 is fantastic, and 50 plus is unbelievable. 35 to 40 is average, and then 30 to 35 is pathetic. So 43.3 is really good there for the Roosters, but it's also very good for the Knights at 40.88. I would have expected that to be a bit of a different gap considering that comparison run meters was. Average play the ball speed is 3.44 seconds there for Newcastle, 3.11 seconds for the Roosters, so very fast for the Roosters, extremely fast. 3.44, 3.43 now for the Knights is, they're updating a lot of stats here at halftime. This doesn't usually happen as much, but 3.43 seconds is pretty basic play the ball speed. Offloads is 6-2. Offloads is 6-2 in favour of the Roosters, with the kick defusal of 50% for the Roosters and 75% for the Knights. 1 forced dropouts from the Knights. Then you go to the effective tackle percentage, and yeah, both teams are above the average. So Knights are at 88.52%. It's only the ineffective tackles that are kind of hurting them here. 185 tackles made for 13 missed tackles and 11 ineffective. That is very bare basic. You know, you don't want to be going underneath 88%. They're at 88.52%, so they're right on the line of just bare basic effective tackle percentage. You take it. Whilst the Roosters are unbelievable effective tackle percentage here at 93.2%, which is 233 tackles made, 14 missed tackles, but only 3 ineffective. So 17 bad tackles here in total for the Roosters. Majority of those come from missed tackles, and then there is 24 bad tackles here for the Newcastle Knights, with majority coming from the missed tackles, but a significant amount of ineffective to go along with the missed tackles. So 24 to 17 bad tackles wise, it really doesn't make sense how the Knights win this game, statistically throughout this game. Because the Roosters are actually, besides having less ball, the only reason is because we're about to get into it in regards to the errors, but also this makes no sense, because it's 6 errors apiece. There is 6 errors of both teams here. 6 errors. Ultimately, the only thing you can give towards the Roosters having an excuse here is 4 penalties conceded to 1. That's the only thing that you look at and you go, okay, maybe they're losing because they're giving away too many penalties. Because it's 6 errors apiece. Penalties conceded is 4-1 Roosters' way. I'll give you every good stat here for the Roosters. Every good stat is the only thing. The completion rate is pathetic. The completion rate's not good. But like on a comparison level, they are pretty much getting about 100, 150 more metres than the Knights. They've got more post-contact metres by 25 with 21 less runs. They've got the same tackle breaks. They're pretty much at the same. They said the same line breaks. They're pretty much at the same tackle breaks. They've got a better average set distance. They're at 46.12 now, which is fantastic. They've got a faster play the ball speed. They've got more offloads in this game. They've got a better defensive effective tackle percentage. They have missed 2 more tackles, but they've had 8 less ineffective. They've got the same amount of errors. It's just the penalties. Dead set, how the Roosters are losing this game is actually baffling statistically. It really is. Well, it's not baffling. It's just that they keep continually giving back the ball to the Knights, but the Knights have the same amount of errors. So, anyway, this is really odd. I still feel like the Roosters probably win based on those stats, but we'll see. Andrew says, I'm calling it now. If the Knights win without Ponga, Ponga is the problem. Oh, Knights fans already used that. Don't worry. Okay, so why the timeout, Mitchell? Because he said a forbidden word, Gary. Yeah, unfortunately, Gary, you did say Storm with an S at the end of it, and there is only one S in Storm, and we do have to take a pretty hard approach to the Storm rule. I know you weren't referring to the Melbourne Storm, but we do take a very hard approach there. Mitchell, very much strict with it. Very strict with it. Cowgirls versus Dolphins up next, live from Thailand. He's live from Thailand. Sawadee krap. 4 missed clutch free throws. Oh, yeah, true. Mitchell says, don't know, Casey, why don't you ask them? Yeah, Mitchell's not a Pacers fan. Gary, avoid saying the word storm as a plural. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Unfortunately, Gary, the moderators never get timed out because they don't do it themselves. Otherwise, I'd have to do it. Have you had your barn mai today? No, I have not had a barn mai today. No barn mai. Oh, sorry, I got a message. No bar mai today, but I did have a Tom Yum Goong soup. Ooh, it was very nice. Very nice. Very nice. You know what I could do tomorrow? I could order an extremely spicy Tom Yum Goong soup. I could order it, but we could do that for like one of those donation things that we sometimes do. But it would be, I'd do it, I'd tell them, like Thai spicy. I want extremely spicy. There are a few things this chat takes seriously. Storm with 1S, the Emu War, and Ladyboys apparently. Yes, well, in 10 days' time, I will be off to Le Bangkok, and then after Bangkok, I'll be in Vietnam. And then the Ladyboy chat hopefully will move through, and we'll probably get onto something else that's in Vietnam, because there's always something that gets brought up here in regards to Ladyboys. Sport for Life says, Knights, they're up 6-0. I don't really know how they're up 6-0, but they are up 6-0. Casey says, the Emu War has left many a scar on many people in this chat. Lots of loved ones lost. Yeah, a lot of loved ones lost in the Emu War. Like I said, in Western Australia, the emus took over, and now when they're going to work, they jump on the back of a human to get them to work. You know, it's really sad times. You know, we're thinking about you, Jay. Jay says, Brett Lee eats 7 bun mais for brekkie. He's a bun mai kid. Good love a good bun mai. Love a good bun mai. You say that, Andrew, and the guys' Ladyboy chat will be gone, but I don't know how much I trust it. I don't know how much I trust it. Oh, they're asking if I want to go see a fight tonight. I will pass. I've seen plenty of fights here. Chasers, we now have Chinese emus in WA. Yeah, no, that is valid. That is valid. I'm going to grab a bottle of water. I'm going to grab a bottle of water, guys. Keep talking about your burn my eyes in the chat. It's halftime, 6-0 to the Knights. I'll be back in literally like a minute or two. Bun my. And it says, I want to know more about these Chinese emus. Well, you and Jay should grab a coffee one time. You and Jay should grab a coffee or a miso soup, maybe. Jared Farmoni says, do you guys like cilantro on your bun mai, or do you have that genetic that makes it taste like soap? My brain can't even connect with what cilantro tastes like right now, but I guarantee you I'd probably fine with it. I don't have a problem with nearly anything. Jay says, at least it stopped. Okay. Jared Farmo says, thanks for the reminder there. His name is Blaze. He's off for 4:20. Is that time here in Perth? Is that right? Is that right? How's that dog going, by the way, Jay? How many dogs have you got? You got quite a few dogs in Perth, no? The only thing that's bad about this herbal inhaler thing is that when you like smell it, like that. When you smell it to open up your sinuses, like sometimes you like your nose breathes like it goes back out into it. So especially when I'm talking and I do this, sometimes I'll go to talk midway through and my nose will like breathe out, which then pushes all that up and then goes into my eye. So geez, I tell you what, it's it gets a little bit of pain going. At least it wakes your eyes up. Olivia Reed, she delivered. Oh, she delivered on her promise. $3 dude donations. This is another day, another dono. We are set. We are set, ready to rock and roll for one of the worst games of the weekend. One of the worst games of the weekend. Jay says, dog's great. Ask my stalker. Oh, it's good to hear the dogs are great, though. It is good to hear the dogs are great, because I have heard you going to see a dog about maybe 74 million times in the last 4 or 5 years. Ask Killers. Jared Bumman says, how much for those herbal inhalers and what other scents do they come in? There's like a billion other scents, dude. Like, they have heaps. I don't even, like, it's all in Thai here. It says herbal inhaler 2 in English. It does give you usage in English, but then it's also got Mandarin and just Thai language. And Thai language always messes with my brain. It's so confusing with all the squiggles and the curls and stuff. But, like, this is just the basic one. But there's heaps of them like it. And it's not much. This was like $2 or something. $2, $3 or something. That $3 is not a bum eye for the boys. Mate, $3 Australian, that is basically like $1 million baht. It's basically $1 million. Maybe $1 billion. People used to think I was racking up when I used to sniff that in the nightclubs. I'm sure that there are people who tune into these streams who think this is like drugs or something. I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's going to be someone who doesn't comment in the chat, or people who don't come as frequently as you guys, who may not know I'm in Thailand, and even if you do know I'm in Thailand, don't know what this is. Like, this is quite literally just something that opens up your sinuses and wakes you up a little bit, and I like using it at like half time and stuff because it gets you going again, especially in a game like this. Especially in a game like this that just is not, it doesn't get the blood flowing. Doesn't get the blood flowing. But here we go. See? We'll talk like this now. Knights running out into the field over the second half. But it's going to be a great second half, you guys! Woo! Let's get it! Knights Roosters 6-0 close game. Very close game at the moment. Jackson Hastings tonight, 5 runs for 30 metres, 4 kicks and 123 kick metres. Bang! Fire it up. See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about, son? This game's getting my blood flowing. Yeah, well, Andrew, you need help. That's because you're an Eels fan. Still a better game to watch than the Eels. Still a better game to watch than the Eels. But yeah, there's heaps of sense. You better bring us back some as a Suvi. No, I can't afford it, Olivia. I can't afford it. We can't afford it. Deary me. But all right, second half has started it, and Greg Matthew brings the ball out of the 20 for the Knights. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Jared Farmoney says, we're all going to need a herbal inhaler to get through Knights games. Correct. I will say, and this is genuine truth, obviously we stream every single game here, so when I do see that there's a Knights game on the schedule for the day, I'm like, oh no. When I wake up, I'm like, oh no. Oh no, that's not even joking either, I'm not lying. You're just clearing the nose from the big night before. You are from the GC. The dots connect up. From the GC, I'm in Thailand, and I'm sniffing something. The dots are connecting. Well, the dots are connecting. Tipper for a try. Let's go. Let's just see any Rooster for a try at this point. How about we just see anything get put on the board? Just anything. Anything put on the board. Daniel Tupou, he'll bring this ball out now to the 15 on first tackle. Because why is it the teams around us are winning but we lose? Did you lose last week? You played the Dogs though, didn't you? Wasn't it your last game against the Dogs? You got to bye this week. Yeah, you played the team that's basically top of the table. So it's like, you know, there's a little bit of a giveaway there. But also, this was our first win in like 2.5 months for the Titans. So, you know, spare me. This was so yeah. We lost we beat Manly, lost the Broncos, lost the Storm, had the bye, lost the Raiders. So we beat the Knights back on the 9th of May. So a month and a bit since our last win, which was our first win since like round 3 or whatever it was. So you know, spare me. Yeah, we lost the bye. Oh no, makes sense. No, Andrew, that does make sense. It does make sense. Does make sense. Olivia says, I'm going to see the new Karate Kid tomorrow. Well, I do feature in it. So take a selfie with me in the background. So unfortunately, Victor Radley has failed his HIA. He will not be back. Don't take it as poor me. No, I'm taking it as poor me, Andrew. I will stop. I understand how it sounded. We're joking, man. Just relax, man. Deary me, don't make me bring up the fact that Parramatta have not won a national competition. Don't make me do it. I don't want to bring it up, so I won't do it, Andrew. I will not bring up that Parramatta have never won a national competition. Don't worry, I know the Titans haven't either. Yeah. I know the Titans haven't either. But one day Tennessee will do it. One day. Seb Watson says, how many more concussions before Radley has to give up every week? I don't know. I just don't know, man. Like, it's got to be, his health has got to be coming priority at some point. Like, he's got to really consider it. I know that he's never going to want to stop, but a doctor has to sit him down and say, listen, man, like, you're in for a bad trajectory long-term life-wise. Like, you would have plenty of money at this point in your life. Plenty of money, you know, and he could easily get a career post-NRL where he's talking about, you know, his health and talking and trying to help, you know, rugby league players coming through how to not go down a career path that he's had necessarily. I think that he could easily go into that kind of pathway as a post-career. Is Radley gone again? Yeah, Radley's out for the game. He failed his HIA. It was Cat 2. So fit tackle here for the Roosters, and they're at the halfway point. Sanders Smith kicks his ball in the corner. He was HIA last week, hit someone's hip, and then out at the half today. It's wild. No, it's ridiculous. And unfortunately, like, I'm not here, and this isn't me shitting on Victor Radley at all. He's been a great player through his career, but unfortunately his tackling technique is incorrect. It is always, 90% of the time, not always, 90% of the time it is his fault because of his tackling technique. The way he goes in, unfortunately, it just is, whatever he's doing is putting himself into a bad position with his head, and he is getting the concussions. And that's not an argument. That's not debatable. That is a straight up fact if you're watching him during games. And it's been that way for many years now. So, and I don't think he's going to be able to adjust his tackling technique. How old is he? Victor Radley age. It'd be about 28, 29? 98. So, shit, is he only like 27? What's 98? 98 would be 27? 27 this year? Damn, that's young, dude. That's young in rugby league terms. But with that being said, he's got to consider it. And like I said, it would not be out of bank. Out of bank, he would not be out of money. And again, the Roosters are a team that always Roosters. This is actual thing. Third tackle at 22. Most people will know this. Some people won't. The Roosters, when you play for them, you are guaranteed a post-career job. You are guaranteed something within the club. So fifth tackle now at the 45. It's so sad to see he was 27 in March. Yeah, there you go, 27. So the Knights will grab this ball at the 20 through Greg Martiu and bring it out to the 30. And again, none of this is talking shit about Victor. He's been a fantastic player in his career and is currently international for England and whatnot. But it's just sometimes you've got to consider that rugby league is something that you can play from when you were 4 or 5 years old until your late 30s. 35 to 38 is when most players are pretty much retiring. But that's not even half your life, because the average age that a male lives to in Australia is 77? And it's actually growing a little bit, but 77 is the basis or so. So there is still another 40 odd years that you've got to live with the impacts that you've had playing the game of rugby league. Fit tackle, Heaven Nuke. No, they're away. Dylan Lucas grabbed down to the 35. Great run though. Fit tackle. You've got another 40 years of your life that you need to, survive and be able to enjoy your life. People think that, that's when you start to go on a downward trajectory. Your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s are all sweet, man. When you get into your 60s, you're starting to get on, and obviously when you're in your 70s, you're definitely well on. But one, I always say you're only as old as you are in here, but also if you're getting concussions a lot, that's going to impact you in here. So I don't know. I just care about Victor, and I care about the man's health long term. So right-hand side, and Seawell 1 will get this ball out to the 20 and the 25 for tackle. Head trauma is usually irreversible. Well, CTE, I don't think you can actually know if someone's got CTE or had CTE until they pass away. Someone who's a doctor or someone who knows what they're talking about can correct me on that if I'm incorrect. I don't think you can actually tell if someone's got CTE until you're able to do something in regards to their brain once they've passed away. I'm not sure. Oh! Fletcher Hunt just got annihilated by Billy Smith. Damn, he just got whacked. So there is a debut here for the Knights. Brock Reeson. We're seeing a lot of debuts recently, and not just because of Origin, but we're seeing a lot of debuts recently across a lot of clubs. Yesterday for the Titans, we had Josh Paxton debut, and also Tukumahara Simpkins debuted for the club, but not overall. But good to see a lot of debutants coming across the league. I love him, his work ethic and his grit and determination, but at some point it's got to be looked at. One of our greats got knighted the other day, and he's another big hit, and that will be a knock-on from Newcastle, so the Roosters are going to get the ball out to 45. The Roosters come with some banging hits in the first 8 minutes of the second half. But at some point it's going to be looked at. One of our greats got knighted the other day, and he's in the clutches of dementia. Yeah, damn. Oh, it's Fletcher Hunt again. Dude, Billy Smith has just rocked Fletcher Hunt twice in a row in the set, and the first one was bigger, but the second one just then made him knock on. So Billy Smith looks to have Fletcher Hunt's number right now. Jared says, yeah, it's proven CT is only diagnosed after passing, yeah. Because I think that it's going to be one when, and God bless, touch wood, I really hope this doesn't happen anytime soon. I hope he has a long and prosperous life post this. But Wally Lewis, when he passes away, that's the first thing they're going to look at. Because obviously he does have those... I don't really want to talk about people like this, but in the same sense, the point is that I think that'll be probably heavily looked into. Because Wally was one of the greatest players of all time. Very tough unit, more so for the BRL than for the New South Wales Rugby League and whatnot. Wasn't around... Don't think he played into the NRL, did he? Did he retire? When did he retire? The NRL didn't come into existence until 98, no? Roosters now, Billy Smith at the 20, the 15, third tackle. Oh, jeez, he's going to be taken on the sideline. That's fine. That's fine. He was still moving. That is good defense there from Newcastle. Jackson Hastings, well done. Well done. But yeah, I think a really important one is going to be when Wall passes later on, and they're able to kind of look into that. There's plenty of players from the 90s and 80s and 70s and whatnot that it'll be interesting to kind of have that knowledge and understanding. So 30 minutes to go here in the game. 10 minutes into the second half. 30 minutes to go. Still 6-0 Newcastle. Hit that like button and subscribe. Unfortunately, Andrew, not Backhouse, but Andrew, your over 7 tries bet is looking pretty rough right now. Before 2000, he retired, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it definitely was around when the NRL started. I just don't know if it was when the NRL started. Oh, Australian killed another injured in Bali Villa shooting incident. Oh, damn. God bless, man. World's fucked up at the moment. Really badly. What was I looking at? Oh, yeah. What year did Wally Lewis retire? He retired in. Oh, he retired in 92. He continued coaching the Seagulls in 93. No, so he retired in 92. Definitely didn't play NRL. Definitely didn't. So James Setsko will grab this ball to 15, brings it out to the 20, 25. I don't know why I thought. Then again, this is all when I was way too young anyway. I was 4 years old in 98, so this is just going off of, knowledge that I learned from other things. Yeah, not backouts. Now, if we're talking about backouts, it'd be a whole different story, Andrew. It'd be a whole different story. Namanga to Wase gets the ball out to the 30 on third tackle. And it says, well, in fairness, all they need is 7 in 30 minutes. If they get one in the next 2 minutes, only 6, we've got this. Andrew, you're starting to get down the path of figuring out how Titans, Eels, Knights, and most teams go through their weeks and trying to figure out how to... Oh, it's gone backwards with the Roosters. Grassy McGrass is having an unbelievable game here today. It's always Knights games. Doesn't matter whether it's the Knights or the opposition team. Grassy McGrath is the greatest player of all time when the Newcastle Knights are on the field. Whether it be for them or against them, it doesn't matter. He's getting all the points here today again. Don't just give him 6. He's getting the 6, plus he's getting the 4 from the 2-pointers. So he's at 10. He's getting 12 points out of this game. No. Yeah, he's getting 12 points. I'd give him 20. It's still mathematically possible. It's still mathematical possible. Thank you for the English lesson there, Andrew. I'm never coming to your class again. But mathematically, it is still possible, yeah. I highly doubt it, but mathematically, it's still possible. Yep, next game. Don't forget, guys, there's 2 games today right after this one. Hopefully, the next game's better. It is the Cowboys versus the Dolphins. The kick again. Okay, so Knights get 6 again, 25 metres out. Off to Cogger. Then he gives it off here to number 17 here for the Knights. I'm not too sure. JFR Money says, Grassy McGrath is going to have their own doco after they retire. Going to be everyone's favourite player. Maybe I'll do a documentary of Grassy McGrath. I reckon I need to. Third tackle. They give it off to Crossland. 6 again, even Newcastle. 2 metres out now from the line. 3 metres out. 6 again. So first tackle for the Knights. Jaden Brayley out to Jack Cogger. Cogger gets the ball out the back here to Jackson Hastings. And Hastings is going to be offloaded to Kai Pearce-Paul. Rolls around, 12 metres out, 10 metres out, second tackle. Andrew says, I will be back going to feed the fishes. Mate, you're in a car. How are you feeding the fishes in the car? What are you doing? What are you doing? Ice on the road, buddy. Why are you even typing? You're in a car on the way to Coffs. Dear me, I'm calling the police. Someone call the police on Andrew. Fourth tackle here for the Knights, 3 metres out. And now 2 metres out, and it's going to be 5th tackle for Newcastle. Not a great attacking set here at all. It's nice, though. Jackson Hastings. And it'll be 5th tackle turnover. Roosters ball at 2. Gary says, going back to the Oz vs South Africa test, if you get Markham early, don't be surprised if you win, considering that what has happened overnight. Expect the ball to swing. I agree. If there's ever a team to choke up a lead like this, it'll be South Africa. They are well renowned for their chokes, especially in big-time tournaments. But with that being said, I kind of want to see South Africa win, mate. At the end of the day, we win everything, and we're going to continue to win everything on a majority. But it's really, really good to see teams that don't win much actually get something. So, and that's not me trying to disrespect South Africa. I'm just saying, I don't really have a problem with it. If it was England, I'd have a problem with it. If it was Australia playing England and we're going to lose, then yeah, I have a problem with it because I'm going to have to deal with the English talking shit. But I can deal with South Africans, man. I can. Rugby union, different story. But I don't mind South Africa as much as other people do with the Springboks. But rugby union, a bit of a different story because their fans are just painful to deal with. But then again, that comes with success, just like how you guys would feel about Australia and their success in cricket. Whoever the successful teams are in sport, they're able to talk the most shit. And South Africa aren't successful in cricket, so I'm kind of okay with it. England aren't exactly unbelievably successful, but at least they've got more success. They're a part of Australia. Well, I'd say it's Australia here, and then you've got England and India kind of there, but India would still be above England in regards to the success of the cricketing level. Theirs is a lot more recent success though than the long term for England. Fourth tackle here at the halfway point. Jaden Brayley to Crossland, and it'll be 40 metres out for tackle. Gary says, no, mate, we are used to losing in international sport. Yeah, but your fans are painful when you win. It's coming home, is it? Is it coming home? How's it coming home? Especially the Euros, that's a penalty into the... Oh, penalty to the Knights! 5 metres away. Take the 2. Take the 2 here. It's a little bit to the right, but I'd still take the 2, make it 8-0. Okay, I can understand it's coming home in regards to the World Cup, because he did win in 1966, but I cannot understand for the life of me why you would say it's coming home when it's the Euros, when you've never won the Euros before. Olivia, any bets tonight? Olivia says, no bets tonight. Won big last night. Won big last night? What'd you win, Olivia? Oh, you got Titans, didn't you? You bet on the Titans, didn't you? I Titans to win 13 plus. What was your bet? Jared Farm Money says, you bet Titans 13 plus last night. Good for you. Any try scorers as well? Well, we're still waiting for our $7 million donation from Olivia because she did win massive. So the $7 million is going to go down nicely. 7 million. Good stuff, Olivia. We appreciate you greatly. That's a song, mate. No one actually believes we will win the Euros or World Cup, although have come very close recently. I disagree with you, Gary. I disagree with you heavily. I do think that people genuinely believe that it is coming home every single time. And I don't think they're wrong necessarily to believe it, considering. So it's going to be a penalty here, and the Knights are going to take the 2. I think you're wrong. I think you might be aware of reality that there are a lot of really, really good football nations out there that are probably going to beat England. But I think for the majority, people genuinely do. And I think that based off of the fact that the Premier League is the most successful league in the world, I know the league is up there and whatnot, but the Premier League being the biggest league in the world, sets up an unrealistic expectation for the international team because most of the best players in the Premier League are internationals. But people don't necessarily recognise that as much as they should. So Dane Gagai here to go for the penalty, make it a 8-point game. That's the worst camera work I've ever seen, but it will go through. But it's 8-0 here to the Knights with 24 minutes to go of the game. I won $700. The odds were at $11.50. I just threw out a random number of 7 million. So to even get one of the numbers on that bet is impressive. And it says, I recommend you not backing my over 7 match tries. It's looking a tad unlikely. Just a little bit. Just look a little bit unlikely. A little bit unlikely on the over 7 match tries. A little unlikely. Olivia won a whole year's worth of tuck shot money yesterday. Congrats, Olivia. Yeah, especially when it's Titans 13 plus. I like that. I like that. First tackle at 25. That's right, the Club World Cup is tomorrow. All right, I heard they've been doing great ticket sales in America. Second tackle here at the 25, and they'll bring it out now to the 35 on third tackle. Football fans are so fickle over here. Team wins a game and he's the best manager. Lose a game, sack him. It's not over here. It's everywhere, mate, especially in Australia. You know, Titans fans are the same. You know, last week everyone's on the this club sucks brigade, which they're not wrong to have the opinion, and then now they're on the this team's the greatest team of all time brigade. Not all of them. I think a lot more are realistic than unrealistic, but, you know, it changes week by week. It happens with every country and every team and every sport in every part of the world. Tedesco will grab the ball at the 5. First tackle here. I used to take money from my mum's coin collection for tuck shop. Shout out, Mum. Also, Olivia, what are you doing? What are you doing spelling mum with an O? What are you doing spelling mum with an O, Olivia? What do you think this is? What, you think this is the American channel, BK Sport? You think this is BK Sport USA? What's this O? What's this O business? What is this O business in the chat? Olivia says they never knew it was a foreign $2 coin. So they give it off to Nafahu White. We'll get this ball out of the 40 and it's fit tackle. This has been a dire game, bro. This has been a dire game. I'm so sorry to any neutral fan who's watching this. And I'm so sorry to Roosters fans that are watching this and losing in a dire game as heavy favourites. I watched too much dance. Oh, she's done it again. She's done it again. She's done it again. Olivia, be careful. Be careful. We're not Americans here. Dear me. She's done it again. Dance mums. So the Knights are trying to claim, I think, a crusher here, maybe? It's close, Mitchell. That's what I'm saying. It's close with timeout. I don't think that's a crusher at all. Like, I know that's just unfortunate there. I don't think that's a crusher, but I can understand why he's complaining. It's all right, Olivia. We'll leave you. We're a very compassionate man. Very compassionate and sympathetic and empathetic man over here on BKR Empathy. So we'll leave you be for this one time. You've got to be careful with that mums. So third tackle now at the 35. Olivia, we need to get you off that show. I'm pretty sure that main person's in jail or something like that. Main person? Is that like bigger lady with the brown hair? At least Olivia didn't mention the... What? At least Olivia didn't mention the what? I don't know what you're talking about. So there's an injury here to Egan Busher. Jeez, he's had a rough game in regards to... You know you're allowed to say weather, Gary. You are allowed to say the word weather. It's just that you said storm with an S. You're allowed to say the word... You're allowed to... You are allowed to say the word weather. There's no... What do you think? There's no Weathers team. I know that they're trying to bring in the Adelaide Weathers, but there's no Weathers team here. So 20 minutes to go here of the game. Hit that like button and subscribe. At 20 minutes to go, 8-0 to the Knights in a dreadful game. We have scared Gary so much. We have scared him to the brink of existence. We've scared him with the storm with an S at the end of it, that now he's scared to say the word weather. And good. You got to learn today. You got to learn today. So Egan Butcher will come off with a HIA here. Gary living in BKR chat fear. Say weather proudly, buddy. Say it with chest. Say the word weather with chest. JFR Money says, we need a chat rule list to be created like how Twitch shows the rules before you type something. They're going to say this is a penalty and on report to the Knights. Really? They're saying a high tackle. They're not saying crush. They're saying high tackle. Okay, Gary, settle down. You can stop saying weather now. Dearie me. Stop saying it with chest, mate. What do you think this is? BKR Weather Channel? It's not a weather report. So the Knights now get this ball here to the 30. You're close to getting a timeout for saying weather with capitals, by the way. You're close. So first tackle now at the 25. Yeah, no yelling. That's the funny thing, Gary. If you capitalise too much, you do actually get timed out here too. Jay loves timing the people out who capitalise all the time. So second tackle here at the 15. And Crossland will give it out to Cogger. Cogger to Hastings. Gagai. That's forward. That's forward. Well, it's going to be a try here for the Knights. I'm definitely sure that was a forward pass to James Schiller. He's saying he doesn't get it. James Schiller's shaking his head, so Sutton's called it a no try, but I'm pretty certain they're about to come back for something here because Schiller's saying no. Schiller's saying no. Oh, Jay. Schiller is shaking his head saying no, but I thought it was a forward pass. But here we go. No, he's out. He'll be out. He'll be out. Yeah, he's lost the ball too. So good on you, Sutton. Good on you, Sutton. Good on you, mate. Like, he literally stood up and shook his head. He shook his head before you called that as a try. Maybe you should have trusted that judgment. GTGT says, hey, what do you think about DC to the Titans? Sorry, I'm back now, GT. Just trying to calm down from that sentence. I feel like he would be a perfect fit for you guys. Oh, yeah, he was fucking unbelievable yesterday. Yeah, no, he's been great this season, mate. That's exactly what the Titans want right now. A guy who is... I'm going to pass on your offer, but thank you very much. You have the size in the forward pack, speed in the back line. You're just missing the 7 and steer the ship, in my opinion. That's great. I suggest the Dolphins. Do you like that idea, GT? Do you like that idea? Hey! Don't you ever bring up Cherry Evans to the Titans ever again. It nearly is, Pacewar. It nearly is timeout offence. How dare you, GT? My bad, guys. And you should feel bad, GT. Unbelievable. You think Roosters are away here, Roosters are away, the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20. Oh, the step of dreams. The step of dreams from Celeste Focchetti. Oh, it's a biffo! So an uppercut! So bitch! GT, come here so I can join in! It's a try for the Roosters here. That's a great run for Celeste Focchetti, and he does over Fletcher Hunt at the back. That's a try time right next to the post, and there's a little bit of a slap, tickle, and buffer. Welcome back. Wake up. Wake up. Fletcher Hunt's ankles have been done here. Fletcher Hunt has had a bit of a rough game today. You said GT. Let me just get it 1 second. I'm going to say this again though. Tedesco with a great offload here to Celeste Fiketti. He's got some speed on him, this big bopper, and then just does over Fletcher Hunt's ankles and is able to score. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. There it goes. Jeez, good try though. It is a really nice try. So Leslie Fiketti, the big boy, the big prop there. Look at the speed on him. Look at the speed on the bopper. Unreal. So GT, just let me get this correct here. Let's just remind us and let's just go down the correct path here to really understand and clarify this comment here. So the Titans yesterday smack Manly. Cherry Evans, the guy who was dropped from Origin to play for Manly, had possibly the worst game of all time yesterday. He was very clearly the worst player on the field against the club that you were suggesting him to go to. He also screwed the club over 11 years ago that had to make us go into a complete rebuild because we lost players because we were accommodating for him, and then he went back and stayed with Manly. So you're telling me that you think that he would be the perfect fit for the club that just absolutely annihilated him yesterday, and he was a big part of the reason why they lost? Deary me, GT. Deary me. I think Dolphins are a good idea. So it's going to be 8-6 here to the Knights with 19 minutes to go. The game is back on. Back on. Only 5 more tries, Andrew. 5 more tries. Jaffa Money says Titans don't want another backflip from DCE. So players can't do that anymore. Because of that situation, because of Cherry Evans to the Titans in 2014, players quite literally can't do what he did anymore. The issue with the Dave Fafita and Roosters Titans one was a different story because that was announced in the cooling off period, and it was the wrong move in the cooling off period. You have to wait the 10-day cooling off period before you announce anything. We're basically within sight now. Like Balls says, don't know what's worse, DC the Titans or Tina the Bears. You're getting timed out. Don't ever refer to that. You actually, and you know what, Lagan, we're going to see you in 5 minutes. That is the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen. Oh, you son of... Oh, you make me angry. Oh, jeez, I hope the Rabbitohs win tomorrow, Lagan. Oh, jeez, I hope the Rabbitohs... How dare you ever put Tino's name with the Bears, you bastard. That is disgraceful from you. Hey, go the Rabbitohs tomorrow. Big Rabbitohs fan tomorrow, son. How dare you? 4th tackle here to the Roosters. They're at the 40. They're only down by 2. They get it out the back here. The Roosters. Here's James Tedesco. Tedesco gives up to Billy Smith. And Billy Smith to the 45. That infuriated me, that comment, Lagan Ballsacks. You should feel ashamed. I want an apology from you when you come back. Oh, I want an apology from you. So it's going to be Knights who grab his ball at the 5. It's a great comparison, but it's also disrespectful. So I want a formal apology from you when you get back here. Pricey One says, I've seen less scamming in Walking Street Phuket than Manly and Sharks this season, and that's saying something. That is correct. That is saying something. That is saying something. Well, Sharks at least won their last game. Manly. Oh, knock on Newcastle at the 30. Ho-ho-ho! Knock on Newcastle at the 30. So the Roosters will be 30 metres out. They're only down by 2. Can they take the lead for the first time in the game? Jake Friend is soft. Get on the field, you cat. Jake Friend. Andrew says, we're basically within sight now. YouTube, Rexstar says, yo, just started watching. Subscribed as well, bro. Appreciate you, YouTube. Appreciate you, man. We're here for every single game. We've got the Cowboys-Dolphins game. We're right off this from North Queensland. So one says, Fletcher Hunt got his ankle snapped. Yeah, that was about 5 minutes ago. But yeah, no, definitely did happen. All right, so out to the right now. And Sandon Smith... It's sad for the Roosters. Like, Sam Walker was... Oh, that's who was meant to be playing in the 7th. Sam Walker. That's why the 6 was Hugo Savala, because Hugo Savala normally plays as the 7, but it was named as 6, and then obviously got changed to... Yeah, changed the halfback. Anyway, and then Sam Walker did his wrist or something. So James... It was his wrist that he broke, no? After coming back from the ACL. Out to the right. Roosters now 2 metres short. Fit tackle. I am very well aware, GT. Why do you think I suggested Dolphins instead? So they kick that ball up. Sandon Smith here. It's a decent enough kick in a good area. Knocked back from the Roosters. The Knights will grab it. And they'll be taken down here at the 9 on first tackle. At the 9. Yeah, Knights didn't even try to contest for that ball. Don't throw it away, Knights. You're up 8-0. Last week you were down 16-0 and you were able to come back. Don't do the opposite this week. Who is the 17 for the Knights? I keep seeing him. Elijah Salesa Leo Moana. That's why I didn't know his name. So 4 tackle here at the 35. GTDD says, maybe I'm just subconsciously, it's not even subconsciously, trying to pass off DCE to another club so it doesn't end up at the Finns. I need to take a hard, long look at myself. Titans do need a 7, though. I don't disagree with you. But I also know what their plans are long term, and they're putting a lot of pressure on a young kid, but I also back in St. Harrison all the way. So James Tedesco brings his ball out to the 35. Prey says, we will trade GTGT, you have DCE, and we will take a Katoa alongside Fogarty, and you can also have the GOAT Luke Brooks for only $1 million. No, we'll take a Katoa with the Titans, thanks. So we can do a 3-way trade. Oh, Roosters do knock that ball back. Wow, it was going to be a knock on, but then they knock it back, and Dom Young to the 45 on 3rd tackle. Oh, no, it gets the offload away. So still 2nd tackle here. Siwa Wong to Tedesco, and Tedesco taking down to the 48. So what we'll do here, okay, I've got an idea. Dolphins, Manly fans, listen up, we're here with the Titans. So Manly, Cherry Evans to the Dolphins. And then Isaiah Katoa from the Dolphins to the Titans. And then we will trade, who do we go from the Titans? Who do we trade from the Titans? What is the position that we... No, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to disrespect any of our boys because I know they do see this stuff, so I'm not going to disrespect any of our boys. All right, so knock on there for the Roosters. The Knights will get the ball. You're lucky that... so, Prey, you're lucky... Oh, Jay's done it anyway. So, Knights will get the ball at the 40. So, Prey, I was about to say, you're lucky that Skunkle's not here. You're lucky that Skunkle, the moderator, is not here because he hates it when people put Fafita with an A rather than the I. So, you're very lucky. Well, you're not lucky because Jay timed you out anyway. So, we'll see in 5 minutes. 2nd tackle here at the halfway point. Trade Loffy for Brent Naden. I'm a compassionate man. I won't time you out, but Loffy's the greatest winger of all time. As says, you're dreaming. No, dreaming, man. I'm well awake here. Well awake. We've got the greatest game of all time right now. It's only a 2-point game. 3rd tackle for the Knights. How could I be dreaming when I'm watching a game right now? To be fair, I have fallen asleep live on stream before. I have. Not a rugby league game, though. It was like 3 a.m. for a rugby game or football. Jay was here. I can't remember what it was, but it was something very early. I think it might have been football of some sort. Dylan Lucas taking out the 20. I know Daz was here too. 5th tackle. And Jaden Brayley's going to go to the right side. Mitchell, you're lucky to get time to as well for encouraging it. And Daniel Tupou picks it up in the air, 5 metres out. 1st tackle. Muzzle Flash says, can the Gold Coast Titans still make the 8? Anybody can still make the 8. I don't think the Titans make the 8, but mathematically speaking, and not even in the obscure, unrealistic, mathematically speaking sense that will come in about 4 or 5 weeks for most teams. But like mathematically speaking, in a realistic sense, if teams go on a run from here, anyone can still technically make the 8 because there's only 4 points between the Titans in 17th and Broncos in 6th, and that's with the Broncos having a bye this week. So yeah, mathematically speaking, it's well and truly on the cards. But I don't think that the Titans are going to be able to do it, but I'd love to be proven wrong. So at the right side, James Tedesco. Tedesco here gives it out to Nwanga to Wase. Gives it up to Dom Young. Dom Young at the 40, 45, 50. That is apparently backwards. It was a bad angle, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if it was backwards or not. 5th tackle out to 44, but they didn't call it. As says, don't need DCE. Well, that's too bad. That's too bad because you're getting him because we're getting a sire. That's too bad. That's too bad, buddy. So I think that's knocked back from the Knights. The angles these Foxes doing today is just awful. Yeah, so it's 0 tackles. So it said knock on there from the Roosters at the 25, and it went back to the 15. Why is it 0 tackle and not just bringing it back out at the 25? Because now it's 1st tackle here for the Knights at the 20. So they've lost 6 metres there when they should have had first tackle coming up, from the 25. That's the wrong refereeing decision. The Knights now bring this ball here to the 40 on 3rd tackle. The only reason you give the 0 tackle is when they've got when they're getting an advantage from it. Like letting them lose 10 metres and then providing 0 tackle means that they've got a disadvantage from it. So 4th tackle and Jaden Brayley. He'll run this ball to the 35. At least this is a close game. Egan Butcher failed his HIA, by the way, so both Victor Radley and Egan Butcher will not be back here today. Andy says I returned. I'm so sorry to hear. And that's going to be knocked backwards from the Knights. It's still last, and now the Roosters will get the ball. Daniel Tupou at the 15. Logan Paulsack says, I would like to say from the bottom of my heart that I'm truly sorry for mentioning Tan with the Bears. Yeah, you better be. You better be. Still going for the Rabbits tomorrow. Actually, no, I'm not, because Rabbits are down the Dribble Brigade with the Titans right now. It is pouring down rain in Newcastle at the moment. Fletcher Hunt, God bless him, he is unfortunately injured, and he's going to have to come off the field here. He can't even walk at the moment. Oh, no. Okay, he's back up. Okay, I think he might be right. But 10 minutes to go of the game here. Still only a 2-point game. Hit that like button and subscribe. This is the closest the Roosters have been since the 3rd minute of the game. Thanks for the warning. Give it up to not Egan Butcher, because he's out for the game. That was Blake Steep, and then they get to Hugo Savala, and he'll be 35 metres out. Second tackle. Yes, don't forget Cowboys Dolphins right after this. The Roosters, Zach Docker-Clay is 24 metres away. Third tackle. If they get a penalty, it's going to be 8-8. Yeah, Knights do need Snorkel Man Mitchell. Snorkel Man is a legend of Newcastle. Legend of McDonald Stadium Stadium. We need to see him back out there because it is pouring rain at the moment. 4 tackle, 15 metres out. Give it out to Savala. Savala to James Tedesco. Tedesco kicks this ball through. Chance for the Roosters. I don't think so. I think the Knights get this ball first, but Siwa Wong is claiming it. This is going to be very close, so I don't know what Sutton's going to call here. He's going to call it a try, but this is very 50-50. We need to see another. We need to see this on replay. Dread says Sam Walker's injured again. Unfortunately, yeah, he did his wrist before this game. So James Tedesco, yeah, he kicks this ball through. It's a great kick. Siwa Wong comes flying through. And no, there's no way you can call it a try. No way you can call it a try. It does. Like, I'm sorry, you can't call it a try. You can't say that the ball going down here. No, I'm sorry. You can't call that a try. There's no way. You can't. You cannot tell me that is. That you cannot tell me that's a try. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't tell me that that's a try. But technically speaking, it's like... like, it doesn't touch his hand, but it's like... they're probably going to still call this a try. He grounds it with this, but it's like... they're going to say try confirmed. Oh, it's like, technically speaking, it probably is a try, but it's just so debatable. Yeah, he hasn't grounded with his... I just don't think that should be classed as a try, grounding it with your elbow, basically. Like, he's grounded it here. He's grounded it here. I just don't... I don't know. Like, it's been try confirmed, so the Roosters take the lead 10-8, but that's controversial. Like, that's super controversial to say that that's a grounding with your forearm like that. Because how can you say that's controlled? How can you say that's controlled when he's missed it with his hand and he's grounded it here? Like, I don't understand how you can say that's controlled. You're exactly right. How do you control the ball with this? I don't understand. I'm sorry, I can't call it a try. I just disagree completely that that's a try. But they've confirmed it as a try. I don't even think, technically speaking, that should be classed as a try. If someone disagrees, please, I would actually really like to know how I'm wrong in this and how I'm wrong in my thought process. Because Siwa Wong does not ground it with his hand. It doesn't touch his hand at any point, and they're allowing it because he grounds it here. But it's like, how has that ever been a try? So what, if he grounds it with his upper body? Like, if he grounds it with his bicep, is that also a try? There's no way. I just don't agree. They're looking at it again. I'm asking from a video ref point of view, how do you ever call it a try? That's what I said at the start. I'm like, well, technically speaking, maybe, but it's like, well, from a video ref point of view, I think that the harshest thing is that it was called a try from Sutton, and they were kind of 50-50 on it, but he went with a try. I guess that the only thing you'd say is that it wasn't controlled. Because I don't think it is controlled, because it's not controlled at any stage. It's come down on his elbow, basically. Yeah, unless it's going to be grounded with our feet suit. Exactly right. Does that mean if, like, a hair particle is putting it on the ground, then technically that's a try too? Like, it's a very confusing situation, because I can also understand the debate that the bunker can't really call that a no. I think he can, though. I don't know. That's going to be debated for all week. That's going to be debated all week. Prey says, timeout uncalled for. English is my second language, and I'm standing by that for a justified excuse. Well, unfortunately, it's not because of your language. Unfortunately, it's because spell check usually changes it to fafita rather than fafita. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can ground it with your torso too. Surely not, Sniper Wombat. So you're telling me, I'm not having to go at you here, but I'm having to go at this thought process if a bunker would rule on that. So you're telling me if the hand and the arm don't touch it, and you ground it with your chest, you're going to say that that's called a try. Because that's effectively what that's saying. Again, not having to go at you there. I'm having to go at the kind of terminology of it. So Dane Gagai now on 4 tackle to the halfway point. He lost control. Well, I don't even think he loses control, Olivia. I just don't think he gets control. I don't think he's lost control because he hasn't had the ball in the first place to lose control. He just hasn't ever gained control, in my opinion. So Jack Cogger puts that ball up. Down. Good chase here from Fletcher Hunt. Oh, he's knocked it backwards. Roosters ball at the 9. Penalty to the Knights. Penalty to the Knights. They're going to get an attacking opportunity with 6 minutes to go here in the game. This has turned into a rockin' last 15 minutes. The game was absolutely diabolically shithouse for the first 65. But ever since that 15, 20 minutes to go mark, it's been really fun to watch. Prey says, worst thing about this try is that it's in a crucial part of a very close game. Absolutely. Blessy says, go the Eels. What are you talking about? Where the fuck the Eels comes from here? Where have the Eels come from here, Blitzy? Ooh, this could be... I want to see another angle here. Who touches this first? Fletcher Hunt or James Tedesco? That's a knock on Hunt. That's hard though because the camera is blurred up because of the rain, so it's hard to tell from that other angle. You have to kind of look from this angle because the blurred this shot will tell it. Yeah, that's gonna be a knock on from Fletcher Hunt. That's gonna be a knock on Fletcher Hunt here. Yeah, knock on Fletcher Hunt. So James Tedesco, it will be a successful challenge for the Roosters. They'll get the ball at 10. Gary says, NRL law states the ball must be grounded with either fingers, hand, wrist, or forearm. Yeah, so then technically speaking, it's a try, but that's why it's so controversial, and that's why I've been in pain trying to figure it out, because it's like, it's not like it's a necessarily a knock on, but it would be called a knock on any other part of the field, but it's just because the ball's coming down. Anyway, that's why that one's going to be debated online for the whole week. So it's going to be a high tackle here against Newcastle, penalty to the 9th to 15. That'll be debated all week, that one. Olivia says, yes, there's downward pressure, but not from his hands. Yeah. But apparently the law states, I can understand wrist, I can understand hand, and obviously I can understand fingers, but, if you're not touching it anywhere else and it's only touched there, it's like... Anyway. Blitz says, Parramatta, I believe, is where they come from. Yes. What are you talking about? Where's Parramatta coming into the conversation, Blitzy? What? You've just brought up the... This is a Sharks fan, folks. This is a Sharks fan in the chat, and he's just randomly saying, go the Eels and Parramatta is where they come from. What's coming from where? Where did Parramatta come into this? And you're a Cronulla fan. So third tackle at the 42. Are you okay? I agree, Unknown. Should be grounded with the hand or the fingers, yeah. Wrist is even still debatable, but at least it's pretty much on the hand. Here, you basically can put it down with your ear at this point. So fifth tackle here at the 23 for the Roosters, 4 minutes 42. Anyways, 12-8 of the Roosters. It is what it is. And Roosters will knock that ball on, so it will be Knights ball, 0 tackle at their own 10. Gago gets the ball out to the left-hand side. They might have space. They may have space here. Get the offload away. They're away. They're away here, the Knights. And Jack Hogger taking it out to the 35 on first tackle. 4.5 minutes to go here. Seb Watson says, law states playing the ball on the ground with hands, wrists, or forearms. So by letter of the law is correct. It will be debated all week, but I understand. I understand that. So second tackle here at the 40. Second tackle. Guys, I need to go, guys. Always a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Appreciate you, guys. All right, so out to the left, and Jack Cogger, third tackle at the halfway point. They do need a try. If they get a converted try, they win the game. If they don't get a converted try, we potentially got extra time. And Dane Gagai here with a great run to the 35. He'll get the offload away as well to Fletcher Hunt. And Fletcher Hunt taking out the 30 on fourth tackle. And Dane Gagai goes short side. And they're away here, James Schiller. Schiller's 10 metres out, and he'll be taken down a fifth tackle. 10 metres away here. Dane Gagai, 3.5 minutes to go here the game. They get it across. They go short side again. Up it goes. Knock on Roosters. It's going to be a 6 again. Come on for the Knights, 10 metres out. The Roosters knock the ball on, so it should be Knights ball at the 10. Praise says, imagine extra time for the Knights 2 weeks in a row, yeah? You don't challenge this, Roosters. Oh, with 3 minutes to go, sure, but it's literally pointless. It's clearly a knock on Roosters. Sebon said, I think personally you should be in control of the ball, not just be based in downward pressure. That's exactly right. I think that's where the conversation is. It's more about kind of having the control with your hands rather than with your elbow. Oh, arguably a penalty there. Knights here. Oh, Jaden Brayley, 1 metre short from the line. Second tackle, 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go here of the game. The Roosters will still get a chance to reply if the Knights do score here. Hastings to Jack Cogger. Jack Cogger gets it out. Knights. 3 metres short, third tackle. 3 metres short, third tackle. A lot of errors in this game, Jared. That's a Knights game for you, though. Knights and Roosters, both these teams are error-ridden every single week. And they get this ball at the back here on fourth tackle. Cogger gets it all the way across here to Jackson Hastings. Hastings runs it himself, and he'll be 5 metres away from the line, fifth tackle. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go here at the game. Brayley out to the right. Cogger gets it across to Gagai, and Gagai on fifth tackle. He's going to get done over, and that's going to be a switch over. So the Roosters will get a full set. The Knights will get a full set. Roosters still lead by 4. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. Cowboys Dolphins up next. Daniel Tupou, he's going to get this ball now to the 15. 2 minutes exactly to go, first tackle. Then off to Dom Young. And Dom Young, he hasn't really been able to do too much here today, Dom. Tackling opposition 20 in the red zone. This 38 times to the Knights and 7 times to the Roosters is crazy. Tackling his opposition 20 across the game, 38-7. Or is that this second half? I don't know, because both teams haven't really been down the attacking end a majority of this game. Forward tackle here at the 40. You shouldn't be able to put it down with a finger. You shouldn't be able to put it down with a finger? What? You can definitely put it down with a finger. Finger is definitely control. Elbow is not so much. But putting it down with a finger is... What? How are you meant to put a try? How many did you get a try if you can't put it down with a finger? So the Knights now will get this ball at the 15. Here's your last chance here, Newcastle. If you get a try, then at least we're going to extra time. But if you get the conversion, then you win the game. And that'd be 2 wins in a row for you. So the Knights now get this ball here to the 30 on second tackle. 1 minute and 3 seconds to go here of the game. Greg Martiu getting up a little bit worse for wear. Gives out a cross-on to Brodie Jones. And Jones here to the 40 on his own side of the field. And Greg Martiu is still down. Jackson Hastings gives it off, and the Knights are inside the attack on 40 on fourth tackle. A 6 again would be beautiful for them right now. Otherwise, they've only got 2 more tackles left. Hastings off to Crossland. Crossland out the back now to Cogger. Cogger short, put it down to Lucas. And Lucas fifth tackle at 24. It's now or never, Newcastle. It's now or never. That was arguably a 6 again then. Brayley gives it off here to Cogger. Last play of the game here for Newcastle. Cogger Hastings puts it up. Knights catch it, knock it back. Nice ball still. Dane Gagai flicks it back, and the Roosters get the ball and they win the game. The Roosters get the ball and they win the game. Jeez, what a finish we've had in this one. Dan, that was a crazy, frenetic finish here in Newcastle, and the Roosters are going to get... Oh! It's a knock-on for the Roosters! The Knights have one last chance! A one-on-one, they're saying knock-on. I don't know what's happened here. Okay, so Sutton has called time off. It might be, knocked out here from the Knights. So it might be a knock-on Knights here. They're going to challenge this here, obviously, Newcastle. This is a big challenge. So Tedesco... Yeah, it has been hit out. It has been hit out there. And goes straight to ground, so they'll call that forward. Yeah, challenge unsuccessful. So the Knights will lose. That was a crazy... If that had gone backwards, though... Damn, they would have got one last play of it, 10 metres out. But there you go, guys. A insane finish, a dreadful first 60 minutes. The last 20 minutes was just wild. The Roosters will get the win, 12-8 over Newcastle. Now, Knights didn't lose by a lot. They only lost by 4 points. So they will stay in 15th this weekend because the Titans have already had their win and the Eels have had their bye. And they'll be at minus 69 whilst the Eels are at minus 105 and the Titans at minus 122. So the Knights will stay in 15th position, and it will save the Rabbitohs from potentially going down, and also the Tigers and the Dragons. The Knights just had to win to get into a position above those guys. So they stay in 15th. The Roosters, on the other hand, on 14 points, will move to 16 points. So for the time being, they jump above Manly, Dolphins, Cowboys, Panthers, and are equal 6th with the Broncos. With the Broncos have a plus 44, while the Roosters have a minus 22. However, the Cowboys and Dolphins, one of those teams will jump back above them because the Cowboys and Dolphins play in about 10 minutes' time, which will be live for, so we'll see on that stream. And then that's it. So they will go to 8th position for the weekend, regardless. No matter what, they will be in 8th position for the weekend. Yes, because the Cowboys' points differential is minus 52. So, yeah. So, look, long story short, they'll go to 8th position, win, lose, or draw for the Cowboys and Dolphins game. Manly have already played, Panthers have already received their bye, and the Broncos have already received their bye. So, there you go. Roosters, you're up into the top 8. But, geez, you've got a lot of errors in you. You've got a lot of errors in you. With that being said, though, you had 5 plays out with Origin, so the Knights. So they plays out. Kalen Ponga with Origin, and then 2 big outs of Fletcher Sharp and Tyson Frizzell. But there you go, guys. I appreciate you as usual. Obviously, hit that like button and subscribe. I wouldn't necessarily say nice win, Rooster, but you'll take the 2 points there, Hadahani. You'd take the 2 points to the Roosters and put them back up into the fray. But all right, guys, like I said, thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in 10 minutes' time for the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Redcliffe Dolphins. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.